Hang on, is it doing the thing? Uh-oh. Okay, there it is. Good. Ooh. Ooh. Error. What order do you see the messages coming through in? Because I can tell you which order I see. Hi, Lost One. I see fire. Hi, air. Hi, love. I swear to God, if... I think you just got ping diffed. Where is it? There it is. I've posted it in neat stuff. I'm so sorry. There's always tomorrow. Freya Sweetie. Hi, Cutie Pie. Hi, Air. Is this PSO? Hi, Bro Tiggity. It is. This is PSO episode 1 and 2. The old ones. I will send you a pipe bomb. What the fuck are you sending me a pipe bomb for? Be faster. This is you. Well, F you. You too. It looked familiar. I love and hate this game, Pro Diggity, because, like, I just hear PSO sounds and it triggers nostalgia and happiness in me. And current PSO is enjoyable to a niche audience. I don't think we ever finished that game. We probably went through Ultimate. Or not Ultimate, we probably went through normal mode. I don't think we got to, like, the end stuff. Hi. But I'm pretty sure we killed Dark Falls. I don't remember if we did all of Act 2. Or Episode 2. But also, like... You know, if we didn't even do that, we didn't even scratch the surface. There is a private server for it. But I haven't played that in, like, 7 or 8 years. And then we got to, like, a sewer boss and kept getting flatlined. There's the mines boss that does that, but I don't imagine us struggling with him. There is also the episode 2 boss. I'm pretty sure we were doing stuff in episode 2. Locky's prep time? Okay. It's been a while. And also, like, I've played so much of that game, Pro Diggity, it's, like, hard to remember what we did and didn't do. I've killed that boss so many times that I'm like... I can't imagine not killing him, right? Right? I don't know if Numlock would do this. Try Numlock? Oh. I have a 60% keyboard. Oh. Ayatolic. Is this a PSO world? It is! It's Pioneer 1. Pioneer 1, right? No, it's Pioneer 2. This is the Phantasy Star Online episode 1 and 2, like, home base. My laptop's own keyboard does trigger the toggles. Nostalgia? Oh my god, I was just saying, Atolic. I played this so much as a kid that, like, I just hear PSO sounds and I get happy. Hi, Soul. Happy birthday again. I wanted to join you so bad yesterday, but I was playing Gauntlet with people that had been scheduled for like 2 months at that point. PSO NGS is like... It's okay. It has really good combat, it has really good character customization, it has really good player housing. The endgame is just so And so it's just like, oh, I want to like it so much, but it's just hard to stay with it. I think the problem was I just didn't fully understand how a lot of the mechanics worked, and just kept using swords. I mean, there wasn't much to the mechanics back then. You had light attack, heavy attack, and everything after that was a stat game. Oh, blep. Hello, Soul. No worries. Oh. Hope you had a comfy birthday, Soul. Nazo, 2 months planning compares the annual celebration of my very existence. Oh my goodness. I liked it before the update. What's crazy, Atolic, the most time I put into NGS was when we were farming Gigantics 2 or 3 years ago. I was work from home, and I would leave my computer across the room on in PSO, and I would just sit there, and a storm would start, and I would be like, alright, taking a break on my work laptop, and then go fight the Gigantics. And then go back to AFKing. That was when I put the most hours into PSO. Worst system ever. That is absolutely like the worst endgame grind a game can have. It was so bad. It just worked super well for me. I miss everyone on the ship. It was cute. Yeah. I actually didn't play base PSO2 that much. I tried the Japanese patch once, and it just wasn't clicking. I didn't like having to mod it. I didn't like how unofficial it felt. I didn't like having to wait for translations. It felt like I was breaking the rules. When it came out in the West, because they gave us so much content all at once, I felt very overwhelmed. I also hated perfect attacks. And so I just never really got into base PSO2. I got way more into NGS, but they really flubbed the launch and are kind of still flubbing it. Every now and then they have a good content patch like Lucille Exploration. But in 3 years, I feel like that's their only W. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi, Mixie. I think we're at 6. My very first time ever playing Monster Hunter was a JPMO from a very long time ago. I didn't understand anything. My friends were like, error. You're changing sizes like 1 foot away from the camera. Friends are like, the icons are all the same. I just never understood it. And never tried Monster Hunter again. You should drop Star Wars and go back. Why? Huh? I can't make walking videos in PSO. And the only reason I'm playing Star Wars is to make walking video. It's not a long-term thing. It's not like I want to play Star Wars as a forever game, right? It is just to make the videos. With Monster Hunter Atolic, I have learned that it's such a difficult game for people to get into. Your contacts are off. That there needs to be a specific process for getting people into Monster Hunter. Okay. Hi, Nick. Got the cute and adorable Euland I see? It is, thank you. Oh, 12 start. With Monster Hunter, the game is so overwhelming, Atolic. They don't teach you how to use the weapons at all. You literally have to look up YouTube videos for them. But even with, like, the weapon stuff, just the game itself is so overwhelming and has so many mechanics. They've gotten better with the newer games, but back in the old days, like Monster Hunter Tri, which ProDiggity's my college roommate, he's actually the one that got me into Monster Hunter, it would be like 4 hours of tutorial. It'd be like, you make your character and join, or go into the world or whatever. They tell you about armor spheres, they tell you about skills, they tell you about the vendors, they tell you about the different zones in a map. They send you on a hunt to go pick up 16 herbs. They send you on a hunt to kill 9 bugs. They send you on a hunt to kill 12 little raptors. Like, you don't actually do a hunt, a big monster hunt, until like 6 hours in, and it was awful. And then you get to the big hunts and you're like, okay, this shit's cool. Now, ProDiggity and I were fucking in it because we played the demo, which just starts you on a hunt. So we're just like, god damn, when do we get to play the game? Send you on a hunt to drag your face against the wall to find a mining spot. I hate when Bakas are just like, go kill a big monster, and I'm just like, bro, my character feels super slow, Kikyo, just bad. Yeah. So, I'm struggling because I'm planking. I will go into my Monster Hunter start rant in a minute when I finish planking. But like, since then, I've gotten like 3 to 5 people into Monster Hunter, and there's a whole like process for it. I have a whole rule set that's like, okay, this person is playing. I Gale. I Logitech. You have to follow my rules if we're playing with a new player. And these rules mostly apply to people around the new player, not the new player themselves. When I get into Monster Hunter, you should give your friends the Tri demo, that we can go raid a GameStop for it. Gale, I fought to protect your dad. No, I'll teach you how to get people into Monster Hunter. 20 more seconds. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ow. I think it was because of PSO that we even considered Monster Hunter. I remember you were like, I found this game, it's really cool, and I was like, I like I like sci-fi stuff. Why would I play Monster Hunter when I could play PSO? And you were like, bro, come on, give it a chance. And then I did the demo. You did the demo and failed. And then I did the demo and failed. And I was like, this game fucking sucks, bro. Because we didn't know shit with the controls. And then, you did the demo. Hi, Big Deck. 2 or 3 more times, failing each time. And just watching you go through it, I was like, all right, give me a chance. My turn. We're gonna start walking. New zone, Final Fantasy, by the way. I forgot the thing. Damn it, I forgot the thing. Okay, I'm just gonna go off screen. Watching Prodiggity fight the greatest, or not the greatest, the great Jaggy was just like, oh my god, he's getting closer, now I want to try. And then I think he killed it. And eventually I killed it. And from that demo, we were fucking sold. Okay. The literal easiest boss in the game? Yeah. We're like, oh, it's PSO, but it's just the bosses. Yeah, Deck was doing a poll to figure which animated emote was going to be sacrificed to the Shadow Realm. Speak of the Deck. Are people trying to remove the dead? Goddamn, Big Deck. Literally easiest bosses. Hi, hun. Wow, my treadmill is like rattling a little, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. This is Shaoloni. This is one of the new zones in Dawn Trail. Thanks, Prodiggity, for getting them hooked. I have more nerds to geek out with. Like, phone is dead for now. But more honestly, benched. My phone is benched right now. I bought a used Samsung 20, put my Mint Mobile phone chip in it, and my stupid phone is like, this isn't a Verizon phone, so fuck you. And I'm like, god damn it. Trying to figure out, like, even though it's unlocked, how to more unlock it. With emotes, you can bench a lot of emotes. Oh, the phone is dead for now. I see. Dead needs to stay. I keep using it in most places. Yeah, you can't get rid of Dead. That's like one of Gale's favorites. Getting somebody into Monster Hunter. Atolic. What I do, anytime I get somebody into Monster Hunter, if other people are going to play with us, hi Wrath, I make it so that no one is allowed to gear past the new player. So, like, let's say I'm getting Error into Monster Hunter, and Icy Fire and I are there the whole time. Well, I'm going to tell Icy Fire, you're not allowed to equip anything better than what Error has. So he has all rarity 1 gear, you have to have all rarity 1 gear. And let's say after 2 quests, Error upgrades his gloves to rarity 2, and his weapon to rarity 2. Well, now Icy Fire and I can upgrade our gloves and weapon to rarity 2. Well, technically any piece of armor. If it's not gloves, just the number of it has to be the same. I could upgrade my helmet and weapon, and Icy could upgrade legs and weapon. But we need to not pass the overall, like, gear level of Error. And this does a few things. One, the worst thing to do when getting somebody into a game is to just, like, curb stomp it, right? Is to just go in with, like, best gear possible, and destroy the monster and be like, wasn't that fun? And they're just like, I didn't do anything. That shit sucks. The second worst thing to do in Monster Hunter... Oh yeah, then it's super boring. Yeah. The second worst thing to do is where, like, you're not helping them kill, but you're very clearly not playing with them. If, like... If somebody goes in with all Rarity 1 armor, and then you go in with, like, Rarity 13 armor and just stand there looking at them, you're like, go do the hunt, you know, do the thing, and you're, like, literally just on the hunt with them, watching. And, like, let's say they get hit by a monster. Then the friend uses, like, wide range healing to, like, drink a potion and heal you. And they've got a setup that makes it so that they can reuse a lot of potions, so they essentially are a heal bot, and can make it so that the person is unkillable. That shit sucks. Like, all that does is make it so that they're playing GTA God mode and can't die, and there's no fun in that. And that's the one I see people do a lot, where they're like, I'm turbo strong, but this isn't about me, this is about you, so I'm going to support you, I'm going to keep you alive. But Monster Hunter needs that risk. It needs the deaths. The best thing about Monster Hunter is that there is so much monster knowledge involved with each monster and how to fight it. You can have the trashiest gear possible. Most monsters in the game, you could still beat if you know how to fight them. If you're, like, really good and know how to do, like, iframe timings and, like, just know all of their attacks, you might not have the damage to beat them, but you can just not get hit by anything. So, like, one of the biggest things is everybody in Monster Hunter usually has a big moment. They usually have a moment where, like, they do something really cool, and that gets them hooked, right? So, like, a big moment would be, you're fighting a monster called Rathian. The Dunk. You're fighting a monster called Rathian, right? And she has a pretty nasty tail sweep. She spins around, and her tail goes 90 degrees on one way, 90 degrees the other way. 90? I mean 180. It's a full 360 spin, but it's kind of in two parts. Well, the first time you see that, you know, you get hit by it, and you're like, oh god, that hurt. You fucking go flying and roll along the ground. Not a good thing to get hit by. You might even get poisoned. The second time you see it, maybe you see her, like, stick her tail out, duck her head, and you're like, wait, is she doing the thing again? And you back off, and she does the tail sweep. And you're like, okay. So now I know what her tell is for when she does a tail sweep. Third time you see it, tail goes out, head goes down, she does the roar. And you're like, okay, she's gonna tail sweep, I'm gonna go hit her after that. They do the tail sweep, you run in, hit their leg and knock them over, because they're, you know, in the animation from just using the tail sweep, right? It is very much like you are learning, and you are now punishing their open spots, their opening, right? When you do that, when you have that moment of, like, you learn from their attacks, move around them, and especially if you knock them down from it, you're gonna feel fucking cool from that, and that's like a dunk moment for somebody. Especially if they do it in a crazy way, like a longsword doing a counter slash, where, like, instead of running out, you go into a counter slash, the monster tries to hit you, and then you just fucking, like, counter it and cut the tail off. That'd be like, holy shit, you would be absolutely hooked on the game after that. Kind of like Souls games, maybe? Very much so. Monster Hunter is often called a Souls-like, because it does have that, like, you learn and you do better from it. Or you can just spam R like every longsword user. Listen, that's beside the point. When I play Monster Hunter with what? So, okay. The worst experience is like somebody just killing everything for you. The second worst is somebody just like god moding you as a support and like making you unkillable. What's really important for people playing Monster Hunter for the first time is they want to play with you. They want to play with friends. And if you're like not playing the same game, it's not going to be as interesting to them. So in my example of Air and Icy Fire, if Air was new to Monster Hunter, I would tell Icy Fire, limit your gear. You can't go past Air in gear. And if you have a new weapon to learn that. Like, if you've never played bow much, play bow. Because that way, him and I would be getting hit as well, right? If he's learning bow, I'm learning something like Charge Blade, weapons we're very unfamiliar with, then we're going to be getting smacked around just as much as Air. And Air would have a sense of, oh, these guys aren't just watching me. They're not just along for the ride. They're actually playing the game with me, and it feels like there's some measure of challenge to them as well. And there would be. We're learning weapons and getting smacked around. You need to make them feel like they're playing the game, and not just, you know, being watched and being treated like a case study. Because that's why they got into Monster Hunter, right? They wanted to play the game with you. So you should be doing everything you can to make it feel like you are playing the game with them. I need a drink. How was your day? My day's been good so far. I haven't been up for too long. And use a new weapon. Yep, just like Icefire says. Dead stays, my lick phone is gone. Someday it returns proper. Bold to assume we upgrade. Oh yeah, then it's too boring. Alternatively, you could just fight Jen Moran, since fight is just cannons and harpoons. I had the exact experience. I mostly played the Mon Hun solo with some co-op, the Dunk. I'll punish Elan's openings. What the? Kind of like Soul Skins, or you can just spam R like every longsword user. They have evolved Prodiggity. Now they just use the EA slash counter, because they can hold it for 5 seconds and still counter. Longsword users don't deserve nice moments, Longsword user. I'm new to Longsword. Is co-op taboo in Monster Hunter the way it is in Soul series when it's considered bad and noob? No, not at all. In fact, co-op is highly encouraged, and I would say there's a lot of players. Hi, Matoshiro. There's actually a lot of Monster Hunter players who can only play on co-op. You put them on solo, and it's like, oh, they've never played this way, so they don't know how to deal with constant monster aggro. Which is fine. I kind of encourage people to like, hey, go hunt solo now and then. Like, even if you're in a group lobby, just go hunt a Rathian solo now and then. Just to like, hey, remind yourself, you gotta play the game solo, right? You gotta be able to stand on your own 2 feet. You don't want to just be getting carried. But there's some people who are like, no, look at that. I only play this game to play with friends, right? Like, I have a lot of games like that. Deep Rock Galactic, fucking fantastic game. I would probably never play Deep Rock solo, because to me, that's just a game to play with friends. Monster Hunter is that game for a lot of people, right? There's probably a few purists out there that are like, you need to beat the game solo before you ever play with other people, and you can't get carried through stuff, so the first time you kill something, you have to play so... Bleh. Fuck those people. Co-op is absolutely encouraged in Monster Hunter. Only to elites, then again, they don't have friends. Hello. God, now I've got it stuck in my head, Matoshiro. Literally just saying hello with an A, and now I'm just like, America Dayo, hello, hello. And I'm just like, god damn it. True, co-op is encouraged. Some of us just prefer usually do solo. I'm one of these. I hate solo. I can, but I always throw an SOS. If there's no one, then I just deal with it. I play pretty much all games solo. I thought the OG Monhun were made to play only online and not solo. No, I think for the original PlayStation 2, I think Monster Hunter 1 might have been a solo-only game. I don't know if it had online capabilities. Monster Hunter 2, I think, had online. I started with Monster Hunter Tri, which was the third game. And that one had online stuff. God, I remember just being fucking camped in front of a TV for days. A keyboard plugged into my Wii. And they only let you type in 30 units at a time in online messages. So, like, there's people that I will see type, like, 4 words. And then they will hit the next enter line. And have you ever seen those people that just, like, they don't type a full sentence. They type 4 words at a time, hit enter, type the next 4 words in the same fucking sentence, hit enter. Anytime I see that, sometimes I'll be like, did you play Monster Hunter growing up? And they're like, oh my god, how'd you know? I'm like, 30 character unit. That's how I fucking know. But Yulin, you gotta learn to play Has 5 solo. Otherwise, you'll never learn to play in the most optimal fashion of leaving your friends behind in solo carrying. Gah. I started with Tri 2. PS2 online games were so laggy, it was amazing. Try Hammer, bro. I was a Switch Axe user in Tri. Hi, Sleepy. I thought one of the person kneeling in front of you was naked, but it's just skin-colored clothing. It's a very, like, teal green. Holy shit! Okay, Logitech, I've actually been very excited to talk to you today. I started leveling my Brewmaster. It makes me want to Kermit in Minecraft. Holy shit! I keep getting people in dungeons, right? Like, I thought the Brewmaster would be the fastest character to level, because I'd have tank queue, and I would just zoom through dungeons. I've not gotten a DPS that does more than 300k on the Brewmaster, and I'm level 75. Like, I had a mage doing 25k DPS yesterday. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Where are the DPS?
Good DPS have already leveled. Now you have all the people who are not so great.
It's so... Dude, I hate it.
The other day I had a Cinder, whatever, the beer, the meadery dungeon. That the tank didn't know what the hell they were doing. It's mass pulling and dying every pull.
Oh, God. I've had a few weird pulls, because, like, you know, I'm trying not to go too fast. I'm trying to be like, okay, we have low DPS, I'm only going to pull 1 group. Sometimes I'll be like, we can handle 2. But, like, it's just a CC-heavy group, and the DPS will already be low, so I'm like, fuck, I really should have done this one. I've had a few messy pulls as a tank. But, like, I hate it when somebody, like, pulls just the entire room, right? And then they just die in 2 seconds, and it's like, bro, you're not level 72 anymore, you're up to 77. You're a wet paper bag now. I think I've had 2 tanks that just have that mentality where they're just like, it's not me, it's the healer. But, like, they just die, and it's like, if you're a tank, you should have cooldowns that make it so that you don't die instantly. You should be able to go without heals for like 20 to 30 seconds, even on like pulling the fucking room. But they just seem to be like, nah, it's not me. It's the healer that was stunned over there. They should have played better. It's like, what is wrong with you? I've only encountered that like twice. But dude, in like the 10 to 15 dungeons I've run on the Brewmaster, holy cow. I've seen so many bad DPS. Of course you were a Switch. I was also a Switch Axe main on Tri. Yulin being a brew noob instead of a brewmaster. I think what Switch Axe has become is much better than it was back in Tri. Actually utilizing both forms of the weapon is really good, and I like that Axe is defensive. Now, I wish there was a build to make Axe the attack one, because I like the Axe part of Switch Axe. I want to play the big meaty axe hits and just ignore sword mode, but that's typically low DPS. I'm the same. Oh god, it's so... I just like axe mode. When I was playing Rise Motto, I was just doing invincible gambit spam. I wish we had an only axe weapon. Yeah. When I played Rise, I would do invincible gambit spam. And that worked until some of the later stuff in Sunbreak. I started getting to, like, Scorned Magnamalo, where he would do his punch down, and through hyper armor that would do, like, 70% of my health and knock me down. I was like, well, okay, I clearly can't just do invincible gambit on this. I haven't played retail since TBC Classic came out. Really didn't like the Shadowlands, but thought BFA was fine. As arena player, I feel like there's nothing for me in retail. That is, okay, I'm very disconnected from PvP. Icy didn't like Shadowlands, but liked BFA, and I'm like, what the fuck, huh? Popular consensus is that both Shadowlands and BFA were really bad. I don't know the state of PvP right now. I've always been a PvE player. Raids have always been the most important thing to me in WoW, and so I'm actually having a lot of fun with WoW right now. Corruptions were just so cool. I think corruptions were cool. I don't think the corruption grind was cool. I think coming back to the game and just being like, hey, you will never be comparable to the people with max corruption until you play the game for 3 months was very, I don't think that was a good design choice. Chargeblade is leaning more towards being an axe focus in Wilds. Yeah, I'm gonna learn Chargeblade in Wilds. I feel like I should bite the bullet and just learn Chargeblade. Because I feel like that probably is the closest thing to axe I'm gonna get. But, I don't know. I like Kinsect Glaive. Why am I getting so many messages? There's an axe in Dauntless. Spoilers. It's just greatsword with a few more moves. Corruptions were so cool. Chargeblade isn't as hard as people make it sound like. Yeah, tell me you're a Chargeblade main without telling me you're a Chargeblade main. Had like 600% crit on my Divis on my rogue. It was amazing. And the bike trinket and the Ny'alotha dress trinket, and would just 3-hit people. So much fun. Rogue is in a really bad spot right now. They have a patch coming which is going to address a lot of issues for them and hopefully make them better. But right now, they feel very clunky. And they have a few bugs, which I don't know if they've fixed the bugs. With their new hero talents, they're not doing so great. I feel like part of the problem is that rogues are just so connected to stealth right now. They get so much power from being in stealth. And I hate that. Because as a solo player, that makes it so that like you just constantly reset enemies and fuck stuff up in that way. As a group player, your power is directly connected to if your tank lets you stealth between groups. And it feels fucking shitty when you're like, hey, Mr. Tank, I know you're chain pulling and setting a great pace, but I get a lot stronger if you let me stealth between fights, so if you could just give me that little 2-second break before pulling the next group. And they're just like, ugh. No. Like, they'll either ignore you, or they'll tell you to shut up, and it's just like, ah. Fuck you, Ewan. I love you, Gale. Oh, I'm just seeing the Yuland as a bitch streak. Hi. Hi, honey. Do I see the cute and adorable Freya? You do. I feel like Rogue was always kind of bad in PvE outside of boss encounters. I feel like there have been moments of Outlaw being fucking monstrous in PvE outside of boss encounters. Like for trash, with Blade Flurry, they can be like disgusting. it doesn't feel as strong right now. The really strong AoE spec for Rogue is Assassination, but only if they get stealth going into the fight. Right now, Assassination has a setup where if they garrote from stealth, it hits 50% harder, and it's applied to 3 targets, and has no cooldown. So they go into a fight, and they garrote, and if it's a big pull, they garrote, down to a new enemy, garrote. 6 enemies have like a super strong garrote on them, and they have 6 combo points now. So then they rupture, which has the same spread buff where if you use it after stealth, it goes to 3 targets. So in 3 globals, you put 6 garrotes out and 3 full point ruptures out. Are they still doing Mythic Plus in this X pack? Yes. Mythic Plus is like, I think that's gonna be in WoW forever now. I think that's like the best content of WoW. I don't personally enjoy it, but you look at the numbers of who's running it and like, that is the big selling point of WoW right now. Hello, Hunt. Freya, may I please pet the tail? Hey, Nick. Hi, Jasper. How long do you walk every day? I do a minimum of 5 miles. But I end when the YouTube video ends. So, a video could end right at 5 miles, and I'm like, hell yeah. We got our 5 miles in. Could be at 488 miles. A video could end, and the next video is 2 hours long. At which point, I'll be walking like 9 miles that day. You gotta work now, have a nice day. I hope work goes well, Atalik. Thank you for hanging out. Are you Icy Fire? Hi, hun. Yes, you may, only the tail. Take care, Atalik. I'm doing a vibe. How are you, Nick? Yeah, to go back to Monster Hunter, I had a friend who, it was Koyo. He had tried to get into Monster Hunter solo, but, no, not solo. He tried to get into it, and his friends literally just came in with, like, max level gear, and were like, we're gonna get you to the end as fast as possible, because that's where the game starts. And after, like, 5 monsters, he was like, I'm just not feeling this, and he stopped playing. A year or 2 later, he's convinced to try it again by me and many other people in his community because he was a streamer. And he starts playing Monster Hunter. Hi, Riddle. And somebody comes in, one of our friends, one of our mutual friends, and is like, yo, dude, look at how fast I can kill this monster. And I'm like, dude, don't carry him. You're gonna ruin it, you know? Like, don't wear best gear. And he's like, oh, okay. So the guy switches to Hunting Horn. The guy was like, I don't know, a Dual Blades player. Rarity 13 Dual Blades and armor. He switches to a Rarity 13 Hunting Horn. And 2 shots to the Great Jagras. And we're like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? And he's like, what? I switched like you said. And I'm like, you still have the literal best gear on in the game. You literally have a Kulve Taroth weapon. He's like, yeah, but I don't know how to use Hunting Horn. And it's like, oh my god, are all Monster Hunter players like this? That doesn't matter. You need to scale yourself down. Koyo needs to kill the monster, not you. Oh, okay. So that's when I came up with the rule of scaling your armor down, learning a new weapon, just being a complete pain in the ass to people around the person. And after, like, they said for an hour, we were hunting stuff, and they weren't really feeling the game, but then they had a moment where, like, I think they were playing Insect Glaive, and they just started having fun with, like, I think they saw Glenn get hit. Glenn got hit by a fireball from a monster and screamed, and Koyo found that really funny, and he had this moment of, like, oh, I'm having fun again. And then we knocked our Rathian over, and we're all, like, beating it up, cut its tail off. And he was like, I'm getting it! I'm doing a vibe. How are you, Nick? Good morning, Ewan. My confession booth secret. Oh, no. I want to be mad at them. That said, I've probably done some equally bad things, so... I see, Riddle.
Yulin's a confession booth secret?
Apparently I am. So I can blame a Dual Blaze main for your scaling? Bet. Not so great, Jaegers. I'm at thigh heaven. Yeah? Yeah, the biggest thing for getting somebody into Monster Hunter. Fucking ruin the experience by carrying them. But also, don't let them be solo, because then they're gonna feel isolated and overwhelmed. And then just wait for them to have that dunk moment. Oh. Oh. I'm so excited for Wilds. I'm more excited for Satisfactory. Because that one's like around the corner. Wilds is still 5 months away. Scaling being dog shit and 3 people is so sad. I agree. I think it's manageable when you're going through the game. It's when you get to stuff like Alatreon that it's like, this fucking... That's when I hate it. But at the start of the game, I'm kind of okay with it. Granted, that wasn't a thing in Rise. And so, I'm glad they have resolved it. Agree? World was such a highlight, but had so many problems, right? It had the, you know, going through the cutscenes in a co-op setting was awful. It had 3-man scaling not existing. It had a lot of just design choices that were just like, what? The fucking decos. Oh my god, getting decorations was so bad in World. There were builds that you just couldn't play. If you wanted to play Gunlance or Lance, you needed guard up. You needed to be able to guard attacks that would normally be unblockable. And if you didn't have those, it was just like, well, I just don't get to fight some monsters. Or I could just have to take the hit every fucking time. And I remember, like, just trying to get those decorations, which were rare, was like, dude, this fucking sucks. The Rise, farm of, you know, constantly melding mats to get a good charm was so much better. Because it had, like, an endgame power spike. It definitely was like, you can tell who invested in this and who didn't. But it didn't lock you out of builds. Gunlance suffers so much in Iceborne. Yeah. Also, this is the end of Shaolani. This is the end of the America Zone. The Wild West in Dawntrail. Hi, Techno Rave. You woke up so late. Well, hopefully you didn't have anything to do today. What was I saying? Rise fixed a lot of the problems, but Rise being designed as a Switch game just added a whole slew of other problems, like 4-man lobbies. I don't know about you guys, but Iceborne, with like everybody from VR chat getting into Monster Hunter at once and having full 16-man lobbies, oh my god, I've never had a more fun time in Monster Hunter. I've never been like, this shit fucking rules. And then going to Rise where they just had 4-man lobbies was just so like, ugh. Error. You know that makes a noise every time you do that, right? Okay.
Is that what that shit is?
Yes, it's Air changing his little orb thingy.
I will rip that hot from your body.
No! No! Look, it's fine when it's really cute when he makes the noise. I do like it. It's when he becomes the kid that's like clicking the pen in back of class. It's like,
that will
doot,
be cute.
doot, doot, doot. And then I'm like, okay, stop.
Yeah, it'll still be cute.
No. How far can the little orb thing move from a Chow's head? Do they like if you grabbed it and pulled, would they start moving with it, or would it just like... I have no idea what you're saying. Your words are kind of in the people right now. Okay, well, Freya's boobs this shit out in real time. Motherfucker, I'm finding this shit out in real time. I'm just letting you know, okay? I'm sharing with you. I'm not like, what the fuck, Air? You dumb idiot! Stop spamming us! I'm not coming at you like that.
Yeah.
Scale down, new player shouldn't use Guardian Defender gear. Use a new weapon. Yulin has recommended weapons for starting. Oh, dude. I fucking hate it when people are like, hi, Zachy. When we're with a new player and somebody won't scale down their gear, and I'm like, hey, scale down your gear. And they're like, it's all defensive stats. I will just look at them and be like, I don't give a fuck. Scale down your gear. You are tainting the new player experience for them. Scale your fucking gear or I will kick you. And people have gotten mad at me. People have been like, dude, you're such a fucking buzzkill. And I'm like, I don't care about your fun. If your fun is flexing on new players, fuck you, get out of here. Morning, Lynn, I woke up so late. Hi, Techno. Did you enjoy inviting me to the club? I'm sorry. I'm teasing, hope you had fun. I do not lactate was an interesting line to read from you, though. That's incredible. I was only stating facts.
Huh?
Apparently, Techno sent a, oops, but silly message to Icy Fire of, I do not lactate, and invited them to the club. Poke cheek, poke thigh.
Oops, wrong DM.
Spank under cheeks. Oi, oi. I was actually on VR chat last night. After we played Gauntlet with the boys, Kyra was like, Yulin, you gotta get on for Saturday. You gotta get on. I was like, oh, we'll see after I record a video. Spins furiously. I record a video.
Fucking Kyra.
And then, Yulin lactates boy milk. Oi! I record a video. I then get on VR chat. And, actually, I played a little bit of WoW first. Then I got on VR chat. I think Kyra was drunk at that point. I couldn't join on it. There was also a bug with the instances, so, like, I don't know if Kyra knew about that. But I actually didn't get to see Kyra last night on VR chat. I joined on Sis.
Aww.
I joined on Sis, and he is in a karaoke
I
world.
see Kyra.
I didn't. Well, I did get to play Gauntlet with him for 4 hours, so it wasn't like I was deprived of Kyra.
Mm-hmm.
I joined on Sis.
Deprived of Kyra.
Sis was in a karaoke world for Soldner's birthday, and they were all wasted. It was like 15 people. Sis comes up to me and he's like, Yuland. Hi, Yuland. I'm a little drunk, so sorry if I'm being weird or, you know, messing up my words. But, you know, it's Soldner's birthday. I've been drinking. And, like, Sis is the least drunk person there. Someone else comes up and they're like, Yuland, is that the Yuland? Literally falls over onto their floor to just like, oh god. It was a bunch of drunk people singing karaoke, having fun. I hung out there for like an hour. And then I joined on Addy, Benny, Jack, Hunt came with me, Sentinel came with me. And we were in a world where people were playing Texas Hold'em. Is that a new map, Hunt? Is that like something Suikanishi just posted, or is that like an old map of his?
Maybe it's new to me.
Okay. It was a cool Texas Hold'em map. People were getting a little frustrated because they were like,
Texas
how do I do the
Hold'em.
thing? How do I place the cards down? How do I bet? And it's like, I don't know if they had any drinks in them. I don't know if it's a work in progress. Hi, Chewy.
You'll have to come at the same time next week.
I don't know if Error's up at that time. Huh. Now more like I joined the accidental invite while I was listening to the bouncer's rules and proceeded to hit that line. Incredible. Drunks, drunkest yet drunker. This weekend I can manage. Okay. Hi. Last night was fun. Yesterday was busy. I literally streamed, napped, Gauntlet, record video, get on VR chat, go to bed. Last night was very fun. Speaking of Gauntlet, oh god. VR chat gambling over school sleep schedule? No!
Soft but enjoyable.
That is not how it goes, Aaron. Cairo has been trying to set up a Gauntlet Dark Legacy playthrough for like 2 months or something. He has recruited Lofam, Isures, and myself. We played it yesterday. Lofam and Cairo streamed it. Why is Freya so very cute? Effort. Dedication.
I thought it was Cairo. They seem passionate about GameCube and N64 stuff.
Very much so.
So am I.
I played the Valkyrie at first, but I was kind of like, I don't like being the same character as Lofam. Hi, Jerchin. I was looking at Lofam's. It was interesting. We got to like level 8 and I switched to the dwarf. And everybody's like, you're gonna switch to the dwarf now? You're gonna lose all your levels. And I was just like, it's Gauntlet, I don't care. I also, because Cairo was so fast, because he's the archer, which is like the fastest character, I had fun playing the slowest character and doing the strafe walk, so I'd literally be like fucking crawling along. I'd be like, wait up for me, guys, I'm slow, wait up. And they'd be like, oh my god, fucking stop it. I was being an absolute fucking menace. Walking that way. But shit, it was so fun. I really want to get like Cairo stuck in a hallway behind me. Where I can just be like, I'm sorry, I'm just so slow. And he's gonna be like, I wanna fucking stab you, Ewan. Isu was the wizard. Cairo's the archer, Lofam's the Valkyrie. I've switched to the dwarf. I need to figure out what the fuck is going on with my controller. I can't use the fucking combo move. Which for the dwarf is a really fucking cool one. Last night was very fun. That game you guys were playing seemed very cool. It's a very old game. It's from like arcade cabinets in the early 2000s. It's called Gauntlet. There was Gauntlet Legends and Gauntlet Dark Legacy. Gauntlet Dark Legacy just kind of has everything Legends had. Of course, Isu is the wizard, that beat lover.
What?
Those two games were very, very good. And like, anybody that played them is just like, oh my god, I remember these games, they're great. They were way harder in arcades. I remember I had them on Nintendo 64. Battle tanks are bust. I had them on the Nintendo 64. And then when I saw one of them in an arcade, I was like, oh my god, I love this game so much, I'm gonna play it here. And I put some quarters in. I pick a character. And your health goes down every second. So you only get to play like a minute and a half. Unless you're just going so fast that you're getting tons of healing items that you can like keep your health up. That's how they kept making you pay quarters in the arcade machines is just literally you're paying for health because it's constantly just fucking going down. So I played it that one time at an arcade and I was like, this fucking sucks, dude, and I'll just play this at home. Capitalism. Yep. Thought it was RuneScape. Oh god. Because we always played it on, CRT monitors back then, there were some graphical things that we didn't see back as kids. That playing on the emulator is like, what the fuck is happening? The dwarf's fucking left arm disconnects as he walks. Hello, Jakisu. Arcade. I'm not enough boomer to understand. They still have arcades today, Air. Those are things you can still go to. Early loot box.
Those aren't boomer things.
Yeah, I don't think that's really a boomer thing, Air. Mod beat up Ewan. I think going to arcades is more of a, like, how social you are as a gamer. Not a thing here, at least. No, they are. I guarantee you there's arcades in Finland. Arcades are like... They were more for people that couldn't afford consoles back then. Whereas now, we need them less. Because, everybody has a console or PC. Or at least most people do. It's a lot more accessible to play video games right now. Whereas, you look back at like the 80s, early 90s. For a lot of people, that was the only way to play. You, bleeding health sucks? Yeah. I miss going to arcades. I will, zip. Mod, beat up Eland. Riddle, beat up, not beat up.
Mods.
Only in Netherlands we play his brother play the zombie shooter? Machines, yes. Dedicated establishments? Doubt. I would be shocked if Finland had no arcades. Like, I refuse to believe that Finland is, like, some backwater country that doesn't have the glorious establishments of arcades. There's no way. Finland is usually pretty good and advanced. There's no way they don't have arcades. At least our arcade isn't as large as America's. I mean, probably? Maybe? I don't know. A Gale. Also, hi, magnificent Gale. Can we punt the green shout? No such thing, Riddle. As in the arcade culture, I mean? Oh, for sure. Well, I don't think arcade culture is big anywhere. Right? It's always got, like, that group that likes it. It's always got that, like, arcade people. Hi, Smug. But I don't know if anywhere it's like... I feel like owning an arcade is a tough business to get into. It's not like printing money. Backwater Malaysia has arcades, but it wasn't as big in the old times as y'all did. I think it had fallen off by the time I was old enough to go to them, Air. I think arcades were, like, at their peak, 80s, early 90s. And I wouldn't have been going to them until, like, the 2000s.
I was going to them with my friends.
Finland have gnomes and elf. They play arcades on people.
Like 2000s.
Yeah. I don't think they're dead like blockbusters, right? Like, I don't think you look at an arcade and you're like, that is a dying thing. That is just hemorrhaging money. Because there's things you can do at arcades that, like, you can't do with home games. To gnome on you. Right? Like, arcades almost always come paired with, like, a laser tag. And there's a lot of arcade games that's just unrealistic for people to own at home. A lot of the, like, the arcade car racing games where you're in a car that, like, shakes and leans as you turn with a steering wheel. A lot of, like, shooter games where you actually have the gun as part of the machine. Too poor to have fun in my time. It was my mind stick and stone, the insect I captured. Oh, jeez. We're already at 2 miles. How the hell are we moving that fast? I feel like I just started.
I'm about a gnome on you.
Oh yeah, so wow. I started leveling my Brewmaster yesterday. I've got my Rogue to 80, so I feel like I'm kind of done with that character. Until they do the next patch changes and fix Rogue a little bit, get rid of Slice and Dice. We have the machines in hotels, cruises, etc. Haven't found a proper arcade business, though. WoW talk incoming. WoW talk incoming. Actually, drink incoming first. WoW talk incoming. I mentioned it a little bit before. I've been leveling this monk as a tank in dungeons. Holy cow. Holy cow, I want to fucking... It is so crazy. Just how unlucky I've been. Drinking cum? What did you say? I'm gonna drink first. I don't think I said drinking cum at all. I said drink incoming. Hang on. And before they end up nerfing Rogue, and just to make it worse, they've already shown us the patch note scale. We already know what they're going to do. So one thing about Rogue that's really annoying right now, they have Slice and Dice, right? Spend combo points. Buff your attack speed 100%. The problem is, they don't want you to be spending too much time using that ability. And so, for all Rogue specs, you put Slice and Dice up. And then, for every combo point you use for offensive abilities, you refresh 3 seconds of Slice and Dice. So, you ambush somebody, you get 3 combo points. Then you use Slice and Dice. I think it's actually 5 seconds per combo point for Slice and Dice. So you get 15 seconds of Slice and Dice. Then you build up 5 combo points. You eviscerate. Well, you just refreshed 15 seconds of Slice and Dice. Right? So you don't have to use Slice and Dice again. You just keep adding on to the time. But it's kind of like this whole... Why are we adding it in the first place? Hi, Jan. Just fucking make it baseline. So now what they're doing is, anytime you use Eviscerate or Envenom, you're going to give yourself 3 seconds of Slice and Dice per combo point used. So if you 5-point Eviscerate, you just get 15 seconds of Slice and Dice. Instead of it being a refresh thing, it's just going to be a, you get this now. Let me guess, Warlock barely got changes or got some nerfs. I think Destruction got a lot of changes. I think they're really happy with Affliction and Demonology. I'd have to go look at the Warlock changes again. I actually don't remember if they changed much with them at all. I think Destruction was, like, getting a pass. Warlock is in a great spot. I'm actually fucking destroying people on my Demonology Warlock. So that's what Techno is wanting. Drinking, coming, what? Nuh-uh, nasty. It's on your mind, Techno. Line of Cuties chat. Is Freya best mom? No, every mom is best mom. Alright, let me guess. Warlock barely got changes or some nerfs. No, I am. How are you, Jan Hunt? Warlock is rarely allowed to have fun. I think they're having fun right now. Diabolus Warlocks. They're playing a lot like summoners from Final Fantasy XIV, where you have like 3 phases that you're trying to go through quickly. Like Destiny 2 Titan roaming super. Die, respawn, die again by the same Titan in the same super. Oh god. I'm good, just tired. Hi, Huntera. What is the green and black chow doing? They're dancing. That's aired. They're dancing, having a grand time. David dancing. Diabolus Warlock. What is that? So right now, Gale, they added hero talents. And each hero talent is shared between 2 specializations. So if you play Warlock, there's Affliction, Destruction, and Demonology Warlocks. Oh shoot, I need to wake up early tomorrow night. Sleep well, Jerchin. Thank you for stopping by. Well, if you're...
Bye-bye.
If you are a Demonology Warlock, you can be a Hellcaller Warlock, a Hellcaller Demonology Warlock, or a Diabolist Hellcaller Warlock. And the way those work is a Diabolist Warlock, every time they use Soul Shards, they give themselves a buff called Ritual of Doom. This lasts 20 seconds, and when it times out, you summon a, like, massive demon that just hits the enemy really hard and changes one of your abilities. It's like, you want that to go off as much as possible. Every soul shard, once you have that buff, every soul shard you spend reduces the time of that buff by 1 second. So you get the buff, let's say you're playing Demonology. You get the buff, then you spend 3 soul shards on Hand of Gul'dan. You just took 3 seconds off of it. You do 2 Hellfires or whatever, Demon Core procs, and then you do another Hand of Gul'dan. You just took another 3 seconds off of it. You know, if you're in a good rhythm in getting good procs, you could turn that 20-second debuff into a 10-second debuff. And you want to basically be going through these big demons that are summoned from your Ritual of Doom buff as much as possible. One of the demons that will be spawned will be like a Fel Commander. And he just spawns next to you, runs at the enemies, slams the axe down, and hits for 500,000 million crits. That's a huge fucking hit. You can also be a Hellcaller Demonology Warlock, which, when you spend Soul Shards, you have a chance to put a dot on them. And this dot is just really nasty. It just hits hard, has a chance to spread to other enemies. It's a lot less flashy than Diabolist Warlocks, but it's good. I have not played Hellcaller much. If you're an Affliction Warlock, you cannot take the Diabolist hero spec. You can take Hellcaller, or... shit, what's the other one? Loja, do you remember the third hero spec for Warlocks?
No, I haven't checked Warlocks out at all.
So it's just Burster Dot? Not necessarily. It's usually a choice between, like, how active or passive do you want extra stuff to be. But they're always good. If you are... okay. If you are... I know Warriors more. If you play a Protection Warrior, you can choose between Mountain Thane or Colossus hero specs. If you play Arms, you can choose between Slayer and Colossus hero specs. And if you play Fury, you can choose between Mountain Thane and Slayer. So Slayer is Fury and Arms connected, and it gives you a lot of new interactions with Execute. You'll get more Sudden Doom procs. Every 3 executes you do lets you do, like, an extra, like, opportunity strike where you just fucking essentially go ham and crazy on the enemy for a really big hit. Mountain Thane revolves around Thunderclap. All of your attacks have a chance to call down lightning. Your Thunderclap is better. Your Thunderclap has a chance to transform into, like, Super Thunderclap. And then
Thunderclap basically replaces Whirlwind Tally rotation.
Yes. The only reason you would keep Whirlwind on your bar if you play Mountain Thane is for old transmog runs where you want to spam an AoE as you're running through mobs. But it just replaces Whirlwind. If you are playing Prot or Arms, you can pick Colossus, which I think I said the Opportunity Strike thing was connected to Slayer. I think this is actually in the Colossus one. It gives you more interactions with the Colossus cooldown, the 2-minute cooldown that like makes you big and increases your damage. It has some interaction with that. And just like every 3 hits of like one of your abilities, of a specific ability, will just build up like this damage thing. And then you have a cooldown that will use up to like 10 charges of that buff that you're building to just annihilate the enemy in a big hit that you want to get off like every 30 seconds to every minute. The hero talents are like that. Sometimes they're really cool flavor and aesthetic. So like hunters, hi Yukio. Hunters have a sentinel hero spec, which gives them the night elf ranger theming with like lunar owls and like moonbeams and stuff like that. But like every spec in the game can choose from 2. Oh shoot, I need to wake up early tomorrow. Also do Warlock keep Inferno summon? So Destruction has the Inferno summon, but it's a cooldown. It is not a like permanent summon like it used to be. I wish it was, but no. So it's just burst or dot. It does affect playstyle like that. Sometimes it's like, hey, this one's more burst-like, this one's more dot-like, this one's more passive, this one's more, build this up over 30 seconds and then nuke. Some of them are like that. Good morning, Yukian. I'm Otto and Yukio. Some of the hero specs are really, really fucking cool, Gale. So, like, I think it's Frost and Unholy. They have a hero spec that is, Rider of the Apocalypse. And it just makes it so that you constantly summon the 4 Horsemen as a Death Knight. Which is, like, fucking wild. And, like, you can also just, outside of dungeons, you can just be on your mount the whole time. You can literally just be mounted in combat because you're the fucking Rider of the Apocalypse. That is like an absolute W hero spec that's like, holy shit, that's cool. And then some of them are a little less cool. Like, Rogue has 3 that all of them have like no flashiness. All 3 of the Rogue specs are like, they're almost passive. They have one called Trickster, which every 20 seconds, you just do extra damage to the enemy and like, that's it. You just hit them extra. They have one that is about flipping coins. Every time you do a 5-point eviscerate, you flip a coin. If it's heads, you buff your damage for the next 15 seconds. If it's tails, you just hit the enemy for like 100k damage. And with the coin flip one, ideally you want the coin flip to land on the same coin that it just landed on. And so like if you get heads, then you want to get heads again. Then you want to get heads a 3rd time. And their capstone hero talent is like, if you land 7 coins in a row with the same face, you do like a super damage thing, which I guess is pretty common to get 7 heads in a row, but like, or 7 tails in a row, but like, it just, that's their hero spec. They flip a coin while fighting. The 3rd one is Deathbringer. Go ahead.
Just gonna say, note that the DK hero class Riders of the Apocalypse makes DK more mobile than Paladin.
Yeah. Which...
it's stupid. It's flat out stupid.
I don't think Paladin should be that mobile, but I do think Death Knight should be the least mobile class. That is definitely a weird, like, balancing thing. I wouldn't be against Paladin having a Crusader that kind of mimics the Rider of the Apocalypse, with them being on a mount very... well, no, that's a little samey. My understanding is that the Paladin ones are pretty good. Deathbringer is just... every time you do Eviscerate, you do extra damage in like a plague damage way. And so like, if you stealth and you ambush somebody, you'll apply 3 stacks of marked for death on them. When you eviscerate, you'll consume a mark. Once you consume all 3 marks, your next eviscerate will crit, hit 68% harder, and apply 3 more marks. So it kind of just makes your finishers hit harder, but it's like... All 3 of the rogue ones are incredibly passive. The most visual flair to any of them is that when you're flipping the coin with the Sealed Fate hero spec, you see a coin shoot out of you and land on the ground. That's really fucking lame and boring. Meanwhile, you've got Death Knights with the fucking 4 Riders of the Apocalypse around them. You've got Disc Priest and Shadow Priest summoning a literal black hole on people. You've got Fire and Arcane Mages summoning like a fucking Phoenix turret. You've got, a lot of the Druids have really cool flashy stuff. Even if they play maybe a little clunky. The hero specs are really cool. Most of the people are like, these are fucking awesome and rad, and I'm having a lot of fun with these. But poor rogues are just like, I don't know. I feel like, what would have made rogues cool? To give them visual flair, I would have left the Sealed Fate, the coin flip spec the same. The Deathbringer spec, instead of it just being a debuff on the enemy, I think it should have been like, you summon a Shadow of Death or like a clone that fights the enemy for 10 seconds. And so like, as you're doing combo point spending abilities, you're creating a Shadow clone that ideally has 100% uptime, so you just have a Shadow clone with you at all times. That'd have been fucking cool. I think people would have liked that. That or like, instead of just 1 clone, maybe it lasts 15 seconds, and so like, if you're going really fast, you have like 3 or 4 of them up, and you have a little Shadow clone army. That would have been fucking rad! If the rogue got 1,000 cut Shadow move, then at the end makes you invis. Well, rogues already have that baseline. Like, that's just in Outlaw talents. It's called Killing Spree. Which is like, you teleport behind your opponent 7 times and stab them each time. And then Trickster's just lame, I think. Trickster is an extra hit every 20 seconds. Change that to, what would have been cool? Nothing personal, kid. They reference that in WoW in BFA. There's a wedding that you attend, and an assassin shows up behind the groom and he goes, "Nothing personnel, kid," and then shoots him and kills him. I don't need flash, I need enemy to disappear or see the light. I think people really like flash. In fact, I know people like flash because anytime I talk to somebody who's playing Final Fantasy, that's the important thing in their rotation. I was just talking to Foss recently, he was like, dude, Paladin is so good. Their 6-point core rotation is so cool. And I'm like, okay, show it to me. And literally all it was is him hitting the same 6 buttons. I don't know if it's like one button that changes with each hit, or if it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But it's literally just, he hits the enemy with a sword. He infuses a sword with light and like slams the enemy. He infuses a sword with light and slashes across the enemy, and a bunch of light shoots off of them. And it was just like, aesthetically, it was really pretty. Aesthetically, it looked really, really cool. But rotation-wise, it was literally 1, wait 2.5 seconds. 2, wait 2.5 seconds. 3, wait 2.5 seconds. This one will throw you guys for a loop. You won't expect this one. 4, wait 2.5 seconds. 5, 2.5 seconds. 6, that was it. That was the whole rotation. Just 15 seconds of pressing 6 buttons. Hi, Nondary. That sounds so boring to me, but it looks pretty. And Foss was sitting there going, oh my god, I love this. Oh, hero talent for Paladin, summon 3 Ultra Wank to fight by side. Sorry, Ultra Wank mean Ultramarine. Flash depends on context. Which games Flash? I agree. In Final Fantasy... Hi. In Final Fantasy, there's a lot of, like, visual flashiness. But the rotations are often really fucking boring in my eyes. It's Foss, what do you expect? In WoW, sounds like FF14 Pally is literally just like what it was. In WoW, I was actually screen sharing to Foss yesterday, and I was probably thinking, he doesn't... There's no rotation that I'm doing. I was playing Brewmaster, and I'm literally just mashing Rising Sun Kick, Blackout Kick, and, Keg Smash. I don't really care which order they come up in, just so long as I'm pressing one of them each global cooldown, which is 1.5 seconds. And if I ever hit a time where none of them are off the global cooldown, I will Spinning Crane Kick, because I have removed my Palm Strike. And after every Keg Smash, I will do Breath of Fire. That's my Brewmaster rotation. It's really simple. And visually, it's like, whatever. Whichever ability I do, I will just do that ability, right? So, Blackout Kick, I will literally just do a Roundhouse Kick where I have Shadow energy coming out of my heel. Rising Sun Kick is a Bicycle Kick where my foot is on fire. Keg Smash, I literally take a keg out and throw it on the ground. Breath of Fire, I breathe fire. And then, Spinning Crane Kick, I literally just, well, it's a Spinning Crane Kick. It's the Street Fighter reference. Visually, it's not really that cool or impressive looking. It's not like the Paladin in Final Fantasy with a blade of light with, like, sparks flying out of the enemy's wounds. But, like, it's way more fast-paced. It's way more interesting than 1, wait 2.5 seconds, next ability. That shit drives me crazy. I need a drink. League Flash, people know like. I thought people loved Flash in League. Tekken Flash, people know like. FF14 Flash, depends. I feel like Final Fantasy 14 players love flashiness. I feel like that's one of the most important things to them is that their abilities look cool. Which is why every expansion, a lot of them just don't even get new abilities. Some things will just change how it looks and hit harder. Which I'm kind of like, why the fuck doesn't WoW do that? Right? You should get like a passive that's like, hey, at level 72 with the new expansion, your lightning bolt gets a new model and hits a bit harder. I think that's fucking brilliant of Final Fantasy, because then it lets them add way more abilities without actually adding more buttons to your bar. League Flash, no like because Train says no. You didn't flash over that wall. The worst Gale is when you're on the slope between River and Elaine, and there's actually an elevation difference that you didn't know about, and so the flash just goes nowhere because it struggles with the elevation difference. That's the one that gets me. I've done that like 2 times and it's gotten me killed. I'm so out of touch with League. How Zora has been playing it lately, and I've been teasing her with the, oh, there's better ways to deal with depression. You have friends to reach out and talk to. Just walk inside the wall, bitch. God. We're gonna play Ocarina of Time today. We're gonna finish that, hopefully. We're gonna do our 3 hours of VR chat. And then I will instantly switch to Ocarina of Time. Last thing we did was the Fire Temple. I think next is the Water Temple. I don't know what they've, like, told me to do. We basically finished the Fire Temple, saved. I don't remember if they told me, like, alright, go to the Lake Hylia next. I don't know if I have any, like, guidance to go there. So I'm a little afraid we're gonna have another Jabu situation of, like, how the fuck do I get there? I think I'm gonna be more open to backseating. I think I want to be like, hey, instead of being like, hey, don't tell me, I want to figure out everything, I want to be like, alright, I've looked at this puzzle for 5 minutes, where do I go, guys? I don't want to repeat of the Forest Temple. No elp. No elping without asking is what it's gonna be. I don't want to be there for another 12 hours. Hi, Dr. Error. Especially for Water Temple, you will suffer through it like everyone has. The Water Temple isn't even going to be the worst temple for me, Gale. It's going to be the Shadow Temple. That one I'm expecting to, like, just get uncomfortable and be like, oh, I hate this.
Get the Song of Light for Shadow Temple.
Hi, Bits. Frick you, Ewan. Shadow Temple is comfy, though.
The Sun Song or whatever.
I think I have the Sun Song. I think when I was going to get the hookshot, I just accidentally got the Sun Song right away. Shadow Temple is comfy, though. God, I'm gonna get to the long hallway with the guillotines, and I'll be like, "Yep, it's exactly as I remember it." Oh God.
So you're not gonna get the big Goron sword?
No.
The big two-hander?
No, I did that as a kid. I can say I've gotten the big Goron sword. The goal of this playthrough is say I've beaten Ocarina of Time. Shadow Temple is just a torture place, very comfy. I'm trying to think of what game I'll play next for 450. I was thinking Wind Waker. But also, like, maybe I don't want to do 2 Zelda games in a row. Ooh. I could also just start Satisfactory then. Oh yeah, Sunshine, that was the one. It could be Sunshine. It could be, I think Wind Waker, Sunshine, maybe Satisfactory are the big 3. I've been talking about doing Satisfactory, Logitech, and Senril. When's release? The 10th. Literally, it's Tuesday, Sleepy. It's Tuesday at 5 p.m. Central. If Logitech and Sentinel and I actually do the Satisfactory run, I don't know when we'll get that started. Satisfactory is such a grind game that I'm thinking, like, if we played, like, once a week, are we actually going to get much done? Or are we just committing 8 months of our lives every day of a week to this? And do we actually want that? I'm very much undecided on it still. Have you played much Satisfactory, Sleepy? Because I fucking love that game. Where did Eric go? Did Eric Oh, you're right there. I see him now. Okay, you put yourself there. I don't feel bad for this because you literally placed yourself there. playing games with people, what that? Why the fuck you ain't got shoes? I do. I'm wearing shoes. You're just having a bounding box issue because you're too close. Today is the third date for me. What happened to the second date? Hang on. You were telling us about the first date like yesterday. How the hell is there a third date already? Usually in these situations, there's a little bit of time. Also, like, isn't there a time of morning? Why are we going on dates already? But is there a fourth date too? Haven't played much. I put 1,000 hours into the game Sleepy. I fucking love Satisfactory. That was yesterday was second? Yeah? I don't know, Air. I think we're moving too fast. Also, I did mourn. I don't know. I think it's only been a week. That's a really short mourning time. Who did we mourn for? What else do I have in my notes? Okay. I saw people arguing on Twitter. I know that's not special. I know that's fucking, like, literally every second of every day. But this girl was like...
People arguing on Twitter? Must be a date ending in Y.
Yeah. This girl was like, you keep saying you're so smart, but we haven't actually seen any proof of this. All you've done is, you know, ramble on Twitter and talk about how smart you are. And this guy goes, I'll have you know that in measures of intellectuality, I am always at the top of the bell curve. Which, this is him being facetious, because if you know bell curves, that's not how bell curves work. Bell curves show averages, and if you're at the top of the bell curve, that means you're the most average of this metric. So if, like, let's say a height chart, people that are really short, like let's say 4 feet, they're going to show up at the left, and like less than 1% of the people are going to be that. As you get taller and taller, let's say the average is 5.9, you're going to get to the top of the curve, because that's where the most people are, that's the average. And then as you get taller than 5.9, it's going to go down, because there's less people that are, you know, 5'11", 6', 6'1", which is why it's a bell curve, right? It looks like a big bell. If you're at the top of the bell, you're the most average. This guy, I'll have you know that I'm so smart, I'm at the top of the bell curve. And this girl goes, you keep saying that, but you haven't provided any proof to show that you're actually at the top of the bell curve. Again, you are just stating these things without anything to back it up. This guy goes, So that was supposed to be like a jab at myself, because it's not smart to be at the top of the bell curve, but you didn't understand that, so, well, I think I'm smarter than you. But it was just like, I really like the phrase, even though he was being silly, even though he wasn't being serious with it. The idea of somebody going, I'll have you know I'm so smart, I'm always at the top of the bell curve in intellectuality charts. Statistics was the only math class I ever enjoyed. I fucking hated algebra. I hated geometry. I hated college algebra. What was another one I had to take? I never had to take trigonometry or calculus. I just remember hating math class. And then statistics was like, oh, this is interesting. poke butt. This is interesting because I feel like I'm understanding the way the world works with this. Right? With statistics classes, it was like, just life is being explained to me. I feel like if there's any math class that should be required in schooling, it would be statistics. You took statistics, right, Sen?
A few times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I should say in high school and in college.
I didn't take it in high school, but I did take it in college. I don't know. I feel like once somebody understands bell curves, just like a lot of things in life just make more sense. It's like, I don't want to say like you don't understand the world until you understand bell curves, but I kind of do. They're really important. Not really important. It's just like understanding them is just like, oh, I understand averages now. But I really like that Twitter conversation of I'm at the top of the bell curve. Another story I saw. This is kind of fucked up. So this guy, he starts dating this girl. She has kids already. They get married when her oldest daughter is 8 years old. And he essentially raises these kids as his own. There is the 8-year-old girl had older siblings, but they went to live with dad. The 8-year-old girl and I think one other one lived with mom. And then they themselves, the stepdad, who's the main character of the story, and his wife, they have 1 or 2 kids. I don't know. The important one is the 8-year-old girl. He raises her for like 16 years until she's 24. When she's 24, she is getting married to a longtime friend of hers who, everybody's happy. Everybody in the family likes this guy. But they're talking about wedding plans, and she's like, I want a big, expensive wedding. And the stepdad's like, yeah, I saw this coming. Your mom and I will be paying for it. We're ready. We've got the budget lined up. She's like, cool. In the wedding, I want my real dad to walk me down the aisle. And real dad has, like, not been super present in her life. He kind of shows up once every 2 months to be the cool, fun dad, take her out on, like, a lunch trip, and then, peace out and not talk to her for 2 months. And the stepdad's like, alright, that fucking hurts. But whatever. It's her day. I know she really looks up to her dad. Fine. But, like, as she keeps describing the wedding plans, he's, like, not in the wedding party at all. And at a certain point, he's just like, okay, where do I fit into your wedding plans? And this girl, God, this fucking bitch. She goes, well, you're not really my real family, so you don't. And it's like, he just raised her for the last 16 years. Real dad is like, literally not been doing shit. Hi, Archangel. But she wants real dad in the wedding and stepdad to literally just take a seat. Even though stepdad is paying for everything. And so he's just like, okay, if it's gonna be like that, then real dad can pay for the wedding. I'm not gonna pay for it. I'm not gonna shell out $50,000 for this bullshit. And now she's like, what the fuck? You're being a jerk. This is my day. You're such an asshole. How can you do this to me? And this is on an Am I the Asshole post. And I'm just like, man, you gotta be fucking crazy to, like, have that level of audacity as that woman. Like, I get that she really likes Dad and looks up to him, but how do you just ignore Stepdad being there for 16 years? And him being the one to solve all of your problems and, like, fill in. That's, like, I'm sitting here, like, not just, oh, I sided with this guy. I'm like, I want repercussions for her. I want justice, damn it. I don't know, I heard that story and I just felt so bad for this guy. And now a lot of his family is giving him shit because they're like, you can't do that. This is her wedding day. It's about her, not you. And I'm like, if he's paying out $50,000 for her wedding day, it gets to be about him a bit. That story was wild to me. We're at 3.7 miles. I still need to make one more BDO video. I need to go back to that game at some point. I think when I finish the new zones in Dawntrail and War Within, maybe then, well, I'll do that beach video of WoW I never did. Actually, shit, I can make 2 more beach videos in WoW now. I will then make the BDO beach video. That one's gonna suck to make. I get the honor of being the one who pays for it all, you know. Champagne sounds more fun. Yeah. Yeah. Just that, like, God. That's such a, like... I don't want to say narcissistic or egotistical. It's just, like... blatant favoritism, right? It's just so... It's just so insensitive to the people who have actually been doing the work for you. The dude raises her from the age of 8 to 24. The dude pays for the wedding. The dude chose her, like, in the relationship. Like, there's a lot of people, kind of myself included, that, you know, the idea of taking on kids from a previous relationship is a big, like, hard pass for them. I don't know if I'd call it a hard pass for me, but, you know, I'm not interested in raising kids. That's a huge responsibility. And he was like, I love this woman so much, I will gladly step up and help raise her kids. Dude, I used to... Oh my god. Growing up, I had some friends that had stepdads, and they didn't like their stepdads, right? I'm Yasser. Ewan can barely raise himself. True. Hi, P-chan. You can have my kids, Ewan. Oi, oi, oi. I can't even afford to think about having kids. I had some friends that had stepdads growing up, and they never got along with their stepdads. They're always like, I hate this guy. And, like, I always thought, you know, all the stepdads were jerks, right? Now that I've grown up, I'm like, dude, those stepdads stepped the fuck up and were awesome. And, like, man, I get it, right? I get as a kid, your parents split up. You can't have my kids, but it doesn't stop me from trying. As a kid, you see your parents, split up. You see a new guy come in, and you want your dad to be there. You don't want this new guy to be, you know, around. So it's very easy as a child to, like, hate stepdad and want mom to get back with dad, but I find myself looking at it now like, wow, stepdad's almost always cooler. I don't know. It depends on... Obviously, it depends on the situation, right? If dad did nothing wrong, mom cheated on dad and runs off with stepdad, stepdad can go fuck himself, right? That was a cum joke, by the way. I got it. No, I got it. A lot of kids develop much better relationships with step-parents as they get older. For sure, right? One of my exes had that, where her parents got divorced. And from the age, 8 to 13, she and her stepdad did not get along. She actually, got kicked out of her house at the age of 13. Which she was such a wild child and monster. I'm not gonna go into whether that was right or wrong. Once she grew up and was 20, she, had a relationship with her stepdad where she was like, hey, I was an asshole back then, and you busted your back to help me out. I'm sorry for that. And he was like, yeah, well, you were going through a lot. I don't know. You guys know what my life has been like. Super sheltered, super privileged. My parents are the dream couple that have been together for 35 years or something. 35, 36, something like that. And they're just yeah, you just gotta work hard at it. And it's I don't think they know. I don't think they fully understand, how hard it is to do what they did. They just didn't encounter some of the problems that other people had. I don't know. Maybe that's really insulting for them to say, and I don't mean for it to come off that way. I just have a sense of, everything worked for them. They worked hard, but they didn't encounter some problems that other people had. Speaking of my parents, they're planning a trip to, I think it was Tahiti? They're going to be gone all January. They're actually going to Florida in October. So October to January, they're going to be in Florida. And I get the place to myself for 3 months. After that, they're going to come here for Christmas. Be here for a week. And then they are going to go to Tahiti for a month. And they're going to leave the dog here. So for all of January, I'm going to be taking care of the dog. Which is fine. I love this dog. However, it means I gotta fucking walk them every day in January. And I'm going to be man, I don't want to do that. Fuck. It might mean January has no fucking naps in it. Well, no, January will be cold, so I can just nap. I can just walk her after the nap, now that I think about it. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. I really don't want to give up a month of naps. Worst timeline. Timeline restored. I really don't want to give up a fucking month of naps. Just get a treadmill for the dog and walk them while you walk. That dog is not smart enough for a treadmill, Matthews. They're the type that would hear the moving parts of a treadmill and be like, oh shit, I gotta stay away from that. The treadmill is like a vacuum to this dog. I wish, Matthews, but I don't think it's happening. Or just stream your walk with the dog. I would dox myself way too much for that. More than I already have. I don't have the equipment for that. Also, I just don't want to. The dog could not handle a walk for as long as I go. She's getting old. She's 10 years old. There was a bug last night on VR chat. Apparently all the worlds were locking up. And so after a certain point, if a world was made at 10 p.m. or something, after that point, after like 10 minutes, the dog Huntera. After 10 minutes, the world would lock up and nobody else could join it. So everybody had to keep remaking worlds. Hi, Master Panda Lord. Hi, Pixel. Can't believe you copied Cairo. SMH, SMH. I actually had somebody approach me, saying that a big streamer, ADCVR, copied me, because they were doing treadmill stuff. And I had to be like, hey, I appreciate that you're looking out for me, but you are insinuating that I own treadmills combined with VR chat. And like, obviously that's not how it works, right? I don't own any of this. If somebody wants to walk to walking videos, if somebody wants to walk to my walking videos in VR with a treadmill, with this angle, hell yeah. We love exercise and positivity. There are, I find even myself caught up in the moments of like content creator mindset grind set. I find even myself doing that shittiness. And I try to catch myself when it happens, right? There's people that, you know, they'll start streaming after I started. And they get really big really fast. And I'm like, why isn't that happening to me? And I gotta be like, hey, none of that. Happy for your friends. And then honestly, I think about it, I'm like, well, it's probably happening because of these specific things that they're doing. And effort that they're putting in, and I'm not doing that. Like, I don't do YouTube shorts or highlight videos. And if you put a lot of effort into those, a lot of time, those yield some pretty good results for growing. I'm gonna lurk and hunt, Monster Hunter for the win? Hell yeah. 4.2 miles. I'll be lurking, have comfy nap. You're gonna be there for the nap, right? You can't just not be there, Icy Fire. Mayhaps? Oh my goodness. He disappeared!
There's not gonna be a nap because you're gonna be playing
shit, you're right.
Ocarina today.
You're absolutely right. There's not gonna be a nap at all. I forgot we're playing Ocarina of Time. Icy Fire said have comfy nap. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll have a good nap. Just completely forgot. Oh god, Ocarina of Time. We did the Deku Tree, right? It's the tutorial dungeon. Just dog the walk. We did the Death Mountain dungeon. Imagine being passive-aggressive. Was that passive-aggressive? I don't think that was. Passive-aggressive would have been like... What would have been a good example of passive-aggressive here? Nope, just straight up parkour. No passive-aggressive, be purely aggressive. Oh, speaking of games, I have Monkey Game. Monkey Game good? I've only seen good things about Monkey Game. I've watched Arar and Proxy play. I think I've watched someone else play it, but I'm forgetting off the top of my head. Monkey Game looks good. I've heard Proxy complain about a few things that it's like, why did they do this in this game? But overall, it looks good. You wanna know something really funny, Panda Lord? I was watching Proxy play it, and his friend Kuroki comes in. And Kuroki has been streaming it and raging at certain things. The fuck is Monkey Game? Black Myth Wukong. Kuroki comes in and is like, what the fuck is that transformation that you have? And Proxy's like, what? This is like one of the baseline transformations. I'm pretty sure you get this just for playing the game, like the story mode. How do you not have this? And Kuroki's just like, I don't know, I never fucking got it. what the fuck? And, like, it's a great transformation. It literally gives you, like, an extra health bar. And so, Proxy's like, yeah, if you've been playing without this, you've just been playing the game on hard mode, bro. Go get it. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do next is, I want to upgrade this ability, but it costs like 10 souls to upgrade, so I might just be better off upgrading these other abilities that I don't use as much. And Kuroki just goes, upgrade! Where do I go to upgrade stuff? Tell me right now, Proxy, where do I go? So, like, this poor dude, Kuroki, he's just been playing Black Myth Wukong on, like, Omega Hard Mode. Because he doesn't know where a lot of the upgrades and new abilities are. And somehow he's just missing them. Master Panda Lord, Return to Monkey. Oh, goddammit. Is that what people have been memeing on? I don't know if they've been memeing on it. It had a lot of controversy, Huntera. So, initially, Monkey Game was coming out and trailers were making it look really good and people were excited for it. And then, apparently, a game company was like, hey, we want to work with your game, pay us $7 million. And Monkey Game was like, no, we're not going to do that. And so, and I don't know how true this is, you know, since they did that, there's been a lot of negative reviews about the game. IGN, before it came out, this was months ago, IGN was writing near hit pieces on it that looked like it was painting the dev studios like super like sexual abuse, super like, you know, just a toxic workplace, really bad, more than drama, just illegal activity happening around this dev studio. And people looked into it and none of that was happening. If you get tunnel vision, you'll get killed. It plays good. Does kind of have no hit feel. Nothing feels like you're hitting the enemy, or them hitting you. Visually it happens, but no natural feedback. I see. One big thing about the game was there was a news article that was like, yeah, this developer is weird. Here's the director writing about how he wants to have an orgy in his, in the studio with some of the, female employees, and how he wants to have them lick all over him and weird shit like that. Which is like, whoa, that's kind of fucking crazy. And then you look at the interview where he said that. And when you translate it, it's not anything like that at all. He's basically saying, like, I want this game to do well. I want it to do so well that we have a party in the studio and everybody goes crazy. Right? Which is like, hang on. How did you translate, I want us to have a party where everyone goes crazy, to, I want to have an orgy with the female employees and have them lick all over me? Like, it was just such a, like, disingenuous and malicious translation of what he said that it was like, hey, that's not cool. But a lot of places, IGN notably, was like really focusing on that story and wanting it to fail. And so, there's a lot of people talking about Black Myth Wukong, about how this game deserves to fail, how there's sexual assault going on at the workplace. But most of that is pretty much all made up.
Smells like yellow journalism these days.
Yeah, it's because it's IGN. They want many things to fail. IGN is full of dumbasses, though. Unless paid enough. Exactly. Yeah, it's...
IGN is the new Kotaku.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's... I don't know. I think there's shit on both sides of it, right? Like, I feel like a lot of gamers... A very vocal minority of them will just absolutely smear campaign certain journalists and certain, like, agencies. But then those, like, journalists and agencies don't help their case when they do stuff like this bad translation, or, like, being absolutely dog shit at games and reviewing it and being like, yeah, this game's bad, I couldn't beat the tutorial. And it's like, what? It's just one of those things where it's like, I want there to be a right side, And both sides just look so bad to me. Ignore journalists. Most of them have very dumb takes. Yeah, paid to be dumb, go to IGN. Yeah. Yeah. Our fuck corpas and their mouthpieces. Sure. But I'm not super down with, like, people taking, game journalists out of context, clip chimping them, and then making it look like they hate all gamers and want to control the world. And, like, I'm not super down with people making stuff of that of game journalists. I want to hate people for fair stuff, right? When the guy reviewed Doom and didn't know how to look up with the right C-stick because he'd never played a shooter in his life, and he was the one that got early access to Doom, that shit sucks. But when Asmongold posts a clip on his channel of the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc. saying some super unhinged shit that looks turbo racist, and then you look up the full context of it, and it's like, oh, that wasn't racist at all. That was just super out of context, and looks really, really bad. And now, Asmongold and all of his fans are like, Sweet Baby Inc. is ruining games. They're trying to take over, like, everything. It's like, hang on. That shit sucks. C-stick, what is this, GameCube? The right analog stick, oh my goodness. That sounds like a good job just to be a dumbass. One of the more recent dumb takes from journalists is the PC Gaming Warren for Space Marine 2. I feel like I saw it, Gale, but I'm not remembering it. Remind me what that take was. I need a drink. I think we're fucked, by the way. I think this video ends in like 3 minutes. And we're at 4.6. So we're gonna be at like 4.7, 4.8 and go into a new video. PC Gamer gave Space Marine a 6 out of 10 rating. Same people gave Gollum a 6.5 out of 10. If you give Space Marine 2 a 6 out of 10, that's fine. My understanding is that the game was missing a lot of features. It's probably better than a 6 out of 10. But, like, if you give it a 6 out of 10, fine. Gollum getting a 6.5, that's, like, that's bad. Please be long vid, you in pain mode, MP3. Here's the thing. Even if we get a long video, we do have to end at 12. We do have to end at a certain point. So that I can go do ow. So that we can go do Ocarina of Time. Is that still why they still have tutorials that treat us like babies? Probably. So the fact they gave it lower than Gollum as well. Yeah, Gollum should be one of their lowest ratings. How the fuck did that get 6.5? Good job, Agent Fitz. Gah. What time is it? 11:10? Okay.
You actually want Pain Moan Yulin.mp3?
Yes. I think Air actually does. Air's a tsundere.
Clappers? Okay.
Everyone else gave Space Marine 2 at least an 8 out of 10. I've heard that when Space Marine was first playable, it was missing stuff. Which, it was early access, right? I don't even know if the game's officially out yet. Now that it has more like 3v3 co-op and more modes that were added in the last month, it's probably a lot better. And from what I watched of Smug playing it, it does look like the fucking, like, the Space Marine game where you play as a goddamn Space Marine cutting down enemies that people want. There's mostly server issues? Oh. I wasn't looking when bits started hitting you. For a second I thought, wait, what? We're going to plap, plap, plap. That's what you heard, Jan? Okay. We're at 4.7. God, we really are going to end at 4.8. Or end this video at 4.8. They're planning to add more stuff, like more co-op missions and such. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that, like, there's just more stuff going to be added. I don't know if that's the right way to release a game. I don't know if it should be like, hey, don't release it until everything is ready, or drip feed them content, right? If you release it when everything's ready, you have the potential for it to have the perfect launch, right? Everybody, highest rating, super satisfied. But if you drip feed it, you have the potential for them to, like, you know, be into the game and playing it for months. And if there's any microtransactions, spending money for months, right? But if you drip feed it, you run the risk of, like, them playing the first part, losing interest, and never coming back for the other stuff. That's what happened with Temtem, right? Temtem gave us Content Update 1. We played that, and then nobody came back. It wouldn't be too off-character. Hang on. On Twitch it would be. We only do that on Blue Twitch. Zarlet Caverns? This is a quiet video. Oh, we didn't go over the holidays. Warhammer sadly doesn't get many good games. We gotta take whatever good ones come out, Space Marine 2 being one of those good ones. Holidays. Hope you're listening, Icy Fire. Some naps were not far from it. Day of the Homeland. Germany. So today for Germany is Day of the Homeland. Okay. Literacy Day. Actors Day. Ampersand Day. Date Nut Bread Day. Grandparents Day. Hug Your Hound Day. Pet Memorial Day. Pledge of Allegiance Day. Pardon Day. Pediatric Hematology Oncology Nurses Day. Racial Justice Sunday. Star Trek Day. Sustainable House Day. Virgin Mary Day. World Physical Therapy. So a fuck ton of days. None of them really that exciting. Nut Day. Day of the Homeland, Germany. For the Germans, this is the day of your homeland. Literacy Day, sure. Actors Day, sure. Ampersand Day. So I looked this one up, I was like, what the fuck is Ampersand Day? This is a day celebrating the key ampersand. You know, like capital 7? I forget which one it is specifically. That's what an ampersand is. That thing that Pixel just posted. Today's Ampersand Day. Date Nut Bread. So this is like date nuts, making a bread out of date nuts. It used to be the last letter of the alphabet, fun fact. Oh, I didn't know that. It is not Nut Day. It is Date Nut Bread Day. I know you're all disappointed in that. Grandparents Day. Hug Your Hound Day. Pet Memorial Day. So Grandparents Day, sure. Day for grandparents. Hug your hound. If you have a dog, go hug him. These nuts bread. No! Close enough, it's Nut Day now. I want to take you out for a date. Yeah, Pixel? Gonna take you on a date. Yeah, Air? Then, not offer him homemade bread. I'd let you do that for homemade bread. Yeah. Yeah. Pet Memorial Day. Dog. I've had 3 pets that are no longer with us, that have passed away. When I was 7, I got a dog named Lucky. When I was 10, maybe 11, we got a second dog named Toby. And when I was, I think 20, we got a dog named Brody. Lucky was my best pet ever. Lucky was so fucking good. Pledge of Allegiance Day. Sure. Pardon Day. I didn't look this one up. I don't know if this is specifically about criminal pardons or just like forgiveness in general. I don't know if this is just like, hey, say pardon some today. I don't know. One of you can like look it up and copy paste it into the chat if you want. Pediatric Hematology and Oncology Nurses Day. This is a dumb one. Sounds Canadian. This is a dumb holiday. Why can't we just have Nurses Day? Hi, North Prince. Why do we specifically need a Pediatric Hematology and Oncology Nurses Day? That is way too specific. Racial Justice Sunday. Yeah, that's a big one. That's important. Star Trek Day. Sure. Star Trek is pretty big. Sustainable House Day. I get what this one is going for. You know, pediatric people are the baby doctors. Yeah, I don't think they need their own holiday. Sustainable House Day. I get what they're going for, right? You know, hey, be sustainable. Lower your carbon footprint. Take care of the world. But I'm also of the opinion that 90% of all pollution comes from like 70 companies. So portraying climate change and sustainability as like an individual responsibility is just fucked up. We just need to go after those companies and we will literally solve climate change. It's not an us thing to fix. It is a company society thing to fix. Virgin Mary Day. Sure. And then World Physical Therapy Day. Physical therapy is good. My mom's been going to physical therapy for a long time. It's just 7 companies. It's all your fault, though. I thought there were 7 companies that were, like, the absolute worst. But, like, 90% of all pollution was coming from, like, 70 of them. Speaking of awful companies, I learned that Nestle, the company responsible for Flint, Michigan and that shit, they're bottling water in California. California is literally short on water. And, like, going through a drought. And has been for the last 30 fucking years. And Nestle is out there bottling water. I hate Nestle so much, guys. That company is actually evil. But I like some of the stuff they make. California just steals all of Colorado's water? Does Colorado actually deal with a water shortage, or are they okay with giving away some of their water? Go yoink, the big business people use their bodies as the last burn fuel we'll use before turning 100% to renewable ones. A little morbid error. Just a tad. Just a tad. I actually don't know about California and Colorado sharing water at all. Does California even have good water anymore? I'm pretty sure it just becomes acidic the moment it leaks in the CA. I missed yesterday's stream. There goes my stream streak. Oh no. California gets guaranteed water from Colorado before Colorado gets it? Oh. Why? How does that work out? Because that seems fucking crazy to me. Because money. Because California is a hellscape. I liked California when I lived there. Now, when I lived there was from the ages of 8 to 18, right? So I didn't see the worst of California. I never had to deal with the bills of California. I lived there when mommy and daddy took care of everything. Ironically, I complained about everything there because I was coming from California. I lived in Colorado from the ages of 6 to 8, And then I lived in California 8 to 18. And the whole time I was like, Colorado was better. This place sucks. And everyone that I talked to was like, what do you mean this place sucks? This is like the best state ever. We don't have to deal with shitty seasons. We got sunlight 11 months a year, bro. And I was like,
Colorado.
I'm sitting there like, bro, I burn in 5 minutes of sunlight. I want the sun to go away. This is the worst place for me to live. Little did I know, it was not the worst place to live. Well, I think I like Missouri more. Texas was probably on par for California for me. As much as I hate Texas, there were some really nice things about living in Texas. It was really easy to live in an apartment without a car in Texas. Now that was, you know, being next to Dallas, and I'm sure I could get that in any city of any state. But I had that in Dallas. Ah. I'm so excited for Ocarina of Time, guys. I'm excited for Ocarina of Time. I'm excited for Satisfactory. I might start a solo playthrough and play like 10 to 20 minutes of Satisfactory a day. I might do it like I did with Stardew Valley, where I was playing just a little bit each morning. I got a lot of progress with Stardew doing that.
20 years young.
Just a little bit, and then before you know it, it's 7 p.m.
No. Well, so what I'll probably do is I'll play it before stream when I'm getting notes for stuff. And then I very much have a hard cutoff, right? I can see myself, especially in like, after it just comes out on Tuesday, I can see myself like, oh, let's open Satisfactory again and do more than just our like 20 minutes in the morning and play for 5 hours. But getting into that rhythm of, 20 minutes every morning, that sounds nice. It's funny. This zone we're walking in now is the Zarlek Caverns. And it was cool. It was really awesome when they added it in Dragonflight. In War Within, they added the Ringing Deeps, which just feels like Zarlek Caverns 2.0, which kind of devalues Ringing Deeps because it feels like, oh, we just had an expansion of this. It's not that interesting. Even though Ringing Deeps is a really good zone, I personally have the feeling of, I just did this for 2 years. Moisen, Pat.
It was 5 years ago.
No, Dragonflight was not 5 years ago.
The zone was.
Zarlek Caverns? No, it wasn't. What do you mean?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
What do you mean the same thing? Dragonflight came out like 2 years ago. And then this zone only came out like a year and a half ago.
It's a copy of a copy.
No, it is not a copy of a copy. Well, there is some speculation that people saw the Underdark in the Baldur's Gate beta, early access. And then World of Warcraft was just like, we're fucking putting that in our game. That shit's cool. It does seem to, like, timing-wise, super line up. I don't know if they did it way before, but so, like, stuff like this takes so long to develop. It's hard to say who started first, right? They were probably working on this 2 years before we saw it 2 years ago. Baldur's Gate certainly worked. How long was Baldur's Gate 3 development? They probably had this, like, 10 years ago. At least planned.
When did they release Cataclysm?
Cataclysm would have been like 13 or 14 years ago. Cataclysm was a long time ago. But this isn't a Cataclysm zone. This is Dragonflight. I guess it does kind of look like the one Cata zone, though.
Yeah.
I'm so happy they made all the reputations warbound, though, I ended up getting everything maxed from Dragonflight, reputation-wise. Well, there's actually a few small reputations. I didn't max out Soradormi, but I got the big ones. I got the Lithum Gnome. I got the Tree Sentinels. I got the 4 OG ones, the Walruses, the Expedition. Okay, what were the other two? The Centaur. And the Dragons aspects. I got all those maxed. We are at 5.3 miles. Did anybody watch the Did You Know Gaming video on Pokemon games and ROM hacks? I didn't watch it. Well, I watched like 5 minutes of it.
Oh.
Apparently there's like 5,000 plus ROM hacks. Is that a feat, Chan? Not here in the world. Not on screen.
You're a feat, Chan.
But welcome back, Riddle. Apparently there's like thousands of Pokemon ROM hacks, which makes sense, right? I've always thought of Nintendo as like aggressively going after anything that uses their intellectual property, but apparently they've only gone after a few Pokemon ROM hacks. They went after the big one, Uranium, and they've gone after other big ROM hacks like Pokemon Brown. But there's only like a handful of them that they've actually sent like a cease and desist to. Most Pokemon ROM hacks are just allowed to fly. The big issue is trying to monetize it, right?
Say that's more Game Freak's decision there. Nintendo will protect their own IPs like Mario, Zelda, Metroid, and so on. Well, so many Metroid projects shut down. Yeah.
Anytime there's been a Pokemon cease and desist, it comes from Nintendo. At least I think so. In the scope of like, oh my god, you're still Walkland. I am. In the scope of like 5,000 plus Pokemon ROM hacks, there's only been like, I want to say 20 cease and desist. That's crazy to me. The big no-no is trying to monetize it, right? But then when it gets so big, they will cut it. They'll be like, all right, you've been too successful. I think I saw the cease and desist for Pokemon Brown, and it was like, hey, super cool that you're this passionate about Pokemon, and it's awesome what you've created. You've done a really good job. That being said, stop. We know your address, we know your face, we know your name. We will sue you if we have to. And so, like, with Pokemon Brown, they're just like, nope, I'm done, I'm out. Never mind. With Pokemon Uranium, they sent a cease and desist with basically the demands. It was like, if you don't do this, we're suing. And one of them was like, stop all development of Pokemon Uranium. Which sucks, because I think it was free. They had a donation page that was like, you know, donate to us if you like what we're doing. Which isn't, it's indirect profiting from it, right? But it was just, apparently they weren't even making money from it. They're making like 20 to 40 a month. Nope, I'm done. Put it on torrent. Yeah. Nintendo is garbage. Yeah, I don't disagree. They are too obsessed with copyright rules. When I feel like if they were just looser with them, the community would be better and bigger, and they'd make more money on the things that they monetize. Well, now I think to an extent it was open source. Pokemon Uranium? I mean, so Pokemon Uranium still gets updates. And there's people that are doing stuff with it. But the original two creators, they have, like, distanced themselves from it. They worked on it, did an amazing job, and have since been like, hey, Nintendo came after us. We're out. And, both of them have gone on to get more standard jobs. One of them works as a programmer at something, I forget what. One of them works as an art director at a game studio. Which is cool, right? That they were able to turn that experience into careers.
When you make a high-profile ROM hack, that opens a lot of doors for you.
Yeah. Well, so with Pokemon Uranium, apparently when they launched, it got like millions of downloads, and it's getting reviewed by like major journalist media like IGN. Imagine if Nintendo was like, okay, stop making it, but come work with us. There's a problem with that, Riddle. They won't do that, Riddle. I agree that that's the dream, and 99 times out of 100, that would be the solution that makes everybody happy. The reason why you never see that with games, the reason why you never see that where it's like, hey, you made this thing, come work for us, we'll add it to the game, is because if you don't have the code, you're responsible for it, though. So, like, let's say somebody makes an expansion for Pokemon Yellow. And they're like, hey, Nintendo, I made this extra island expansion for Pokemon Yellow. It's really cool. Add it to the game, right? I have given you all the files. It's in your format. You would literally just add it to, Pokemon Yellow cartridges and sell that. You could sell it as a digital download. It would cost you nothing. I have done all the work, and you would just make money from it, right? A company will never, ever go for that. And the reason is because they don't have a way to check the code. They don't have a way to, like, go through every line in a timely manner without it taking months to years to check to make sure there's nothing in that code, right? What could happen is, hey, Nintendo, I made this expansion for Pokemon Yellow. Sell it digitally. And Nintendo goes, okay. And then a week later, after Pokemon Yellow goes live with this new expansion, 5 million bank accounts have been hacked because it had, some malware that gave the guy who wrote the code access to everybody's bank accounts. Well, who's responsible for that? Nintendo is responsible for that. And that is why, because they can't check through the code to make sure nothing like that happens because they didn't write it, they will never, ever accept something like that. A company will just never accept the work of fans to be added to the game because it's just too easy to be malicious with it. Pokemon Uranium was a flawless game, pretty sure, on RPGM. It wasn't a ROM hack. That's why it took 10 years, Lamau. I still have my OG 1.0.0 copy. Don't tell Nintendo. But you do sometimes see that happen, where the studios hire the person who made the custom thing. You will see the person get hired, but you will never see the stuff they made outside of the company be added. Sometimes they will hire them and then maybe incorporate it after a few months after they've given, like, time to check it. But, like, you will never see, hey, I did the work for you, add this to your game. They don't have the way, or they don't want the way? They don't have the way. They don't have the way to do it easily. Just run Malwarebytes on it. Malwarebytes. Easy, call the guy in and make him do the code in-house? I don't think it's that easy, Riddle. If it was, I think we would see it happen more. It's very much alike. We can't just accept this from fans. You're easy? What the fuck, Pixel? We can't just accept this from fans because we are now responsible for it. And that is a, like, absolute nightmare for any company. The moment you're like, oh yeah, you're responsible for this thing, and they're like, wait, did we make it? No. They're like, God, no. I think Ewan is a corporate agent. I am not a corporate agent. I like to think I'm pretty anti-corpo. However, I understand how they think sometimes. Young Pixel isn't easy. They super easy journalist mode level easy even. Hi, meowies. I'm at 5.7 miles, meowies. I'm tired. Euland is definitely a corporate energy. Fuck you. Oh my god. You got this? Thank you. He's basically a hamster on a treadmill. God damn it. That'd actually be a really funny OC idea. Is like just hamster with a hamster wheel redeem. Look at him go. God damn it. I'm anti-corpo. I know Meowmies is anti-corpo. That was like one of the things that like we instantly saw in each other when we were first meeting each other was like, oh, you've had the shitty experience in Cubicle Land as well. And you have walked away from that and you're just like, fuck it, savings, we ball. We stream now. Office slave gameplay. I will do anything to never go back to that. I didn't even have a bad experience with it. I just saw other people have a bad experience and wanted to avoid it like the plague. They were nice to me at my office. The only bad thing I got was when my contract ended, they said, we're not rehiring you. You have a week of PTO, so we're going to let you finish that out, and you're gone. So I didn't get, like, 2 weeks. You know, I didn't get the, oh, I have to give you 2 weeks, so we'd give you 2 weeks, right? I didn't get that courtesy. They basically told me, you've got 1 week. It'll be PTO, so you won't actually be working. But we're, out of the benevolence of our hearts, letting you finish that out. Which was like, cool, thanks. Granted, work had kind of run out at that point. I hadn't actually done anything for a month, but hey, you're doing well. Your reward is more work and the same pay. But I don't want more work. Wow, not a team player. God, exactly. I hate that so much. I've seen so many stories of like, hey, we fired this guy, so you get to take over his work now. Great, is my pay going up? Why the fuck would your pay go up? We're a team here. Sometimes you need to step up. Okay, well, it sounds like I'll be permanently stepping up for no benefit. It sounds like this guy who just left the company means there's more in the budget for raises, and you absolutely have the money to pay me more. We do not have the budget to pay you more. You don't want more work? Fine. You have 1 week to work. 1 week if you're lucky. I feel like what's real common is effective immediately. We had a team of 10. We went down to 3. I did 3 people's jobs and got paid for 1. God, that's miserable. We had a team of 200, and the work started slowing down during COVID. I didn't really talk with much people outside of, you know, my supervisor and my delivery lead. And so when they let me go, they were like, yeah, the team is only 50 people, and we're downsizing to 40. And so we're letting 10 people go. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know we were down to 50. Holy shit. We used to be 200, dude. What happened? It wasn't really a matter of, like, you get more work. Because we kind of had, like, 10 years worth of work to do. And we were just chipping away at it. We had goals to meet to see if we were on track for hitting all the work done within 10 years. And so it's kind of like work on a project, work at a fast pace. When that project's done, you just get the next one. That's so small. So I worked at Tech Systems Pixel, which is an IT contracting company. Basically, if you work at Tech Systems, companies like Best Buy would call Tech Systems and be like, hey, this store, we can't hire any, like, phone service operators. So we need Tech Systems to do that. And so Tech Systems would hire, you know, let's say 2 phone operators. And the 2 of them would just go into a Tech Systems office, be completely disconnected from everyone else. But their job was to be tech support and phone operators for for one Best Buy store, or many of them, I don't know. But they were Tech Systems employees. They were just kind of contracted out to Best Buy. It was the same thing for me. I was a Tech Systems employee, but Verizon came to Tech Systems and was like, we need all of this data we have uploaded to our digital mapping system, our GIS, and we need it verified for accuracy. So do that. We'll pay, you know, some number of millions. And Tech Systems initially hired 10 people. Then they upscaled to 25. Then they upscaled to 50, then like 100. And then eventually they were up to like 200 people. And that was at the peak. And then the work started winding down. And so they stopped hiring at 200. And the plan was, as people find new jobs, dwindle back down to numbers that will taper off with the project naturally. And I guess, well, then COVID happened. And people really didn't want to find new work, right? Because people were with Tech Systems, we just took our laptops home and did work from home stuff. It was very easy to transition to home. And so everybody at Tech Systems doing this work was like, this shit rules. This is like consistent and stable, where like every other market has crashed and finding an IT job right now is near impossible. And so people weren't leaving as fast, so they started to be like, okay, we're going to fire 10 people at a time. And they went down to 40. I don't know what happened after that. I haven't been with them for a little over 2 years now. They might be down to like 10 or 20 people now. They might just be done. They could just, you know, project finished. Everybody's done, move on to the next thing. What time is it? 11:43? I'm gonna stop here. We are at 6.1 miles. And I don't like stopping mid-YouTube video. But Ocarina of Time, and I want to sit down with you guys a little bit. Where's my title? .1 miles. Now we rest. Done.
Now we goon.
No. We're here. I just lined myself up. I'm immediately gonna go off camera again to change avatars. I don't want to find a new map. We're just gonna chill here. Just gonna chill at the window here. Oh. We've got the fucking couch. Hell yeah. Ugh. Thank you. That's so small.
No
Good
problem.
time. Wait, you're done. Good boy. Big sleepy son. Yeah. I'm gonna take a shower and eat, and I'll join later. Don't, Pixel. Because I'm only gonna be on for like another 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna go play Ocarina of Time. Hold on, let me bring up that list Bits brought up a while back. What list? Where's my pillow? Where's my pillow? Here it is. Woo, Ocarina of Time. Sorry for not subscribing, not gifting, god damn it. Being late to a stream, missing a stream, not chatting and just lurking, blocking intrusive ads for corporate greed. Oh me, baby. God damn it, Pixel. You don't need to apologize for those things. Literally no one does. I feel like I'm dealing with people. Hi, Octomage. 467 for the PSO soundtrack? Hell yeah. Thank you. I feel like I'm dealing with people that have, like, past trauma. When they're like, sorry, I'm late. I'm like, you don't have to say sorry. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. And it's like, oh my god, stop. I missed the walk. Please don't fire me. Stop. Oh my god. Oh, wait, you're doing Ocarina? Yes. BRB going in a store that blocks the internet? Okay. I cannot believe this. Yeah, I don't know. I worked at Tech Systems for 4 years. Built up some decent savings. I honestly, if there's one thing I wish I'd done, it was when the lockdown started, I wish I had moved back in with my parents right away. We didn't know what was going to happen with the lockdown, right? We didn't know it was going to be 2 fucking years. And so, you know, I just stayed in my apartment. Stayed in my apartment right down the street from my office. And, that was that. But, like, I would have saved... I would have saved, like, $30,000 if I just moved back in with them instead of living in that apartment. That's a lot. I'm not sorry I'm late, because I still pay your bills. Good job on the 6 miles. Thank you. I'll be good next time, I promise. Stop. I gotta fill my car's refrigerant before the end of summer. Holy. Refrigerant. I couldn't go back home because of all the drugs I was doing to stay sane. I feel really bad for this Octomage. The COVID lockdown was like one of the best times of my life. Like, I was working, but I got to be home and just like socialize with my friends the whole time I was working. I hated going into the office. And being able to do my work from home was just like, oh, this is just an upgrade for me. I didn't go out. And so everybody was like, wow, the people that aren't struggling to, you know, stay at home and are just vibing there, they're the real heroes of the lockdowns. And I was like, what? This is what I'd be doing if it wasn't happening, huh? I had a blast. It was great. Honestly, COVID was a blessing for my work-life satisfaction. Yeah. I switched jobs, did a few side projects, and saved up enough to buy a house when COVID restrictions lifted. Hell yeah. I didn't save up enough for a house. If I just, like, let's just say, you know, nothing ever changed with that job, and I just stayed there the whole time, I don't think I'd have enough for a house. I was making 65k a year. No, I was making 62,000 a year before taxes. And I live pretty frugally. Yeah, I spent a lot on rent, but that was it. But like, houses are so fucking expensive out here. Even here in Missouri, in like the middle of nowhere, a like 1-bedroom house can be like 350,000. Honestly, COVID was great because I had the first 2 years of college online. People were going nuts, and I was just like, but this is my normal life. Literally, yeah. Housing here is impossibly expensive for new owners. Gah. Yep, I was working for a Korean crypto company, and they did very well. Hell yeah. I actually have a friend who, until it exploded. Yeah, but I imagine none of that fell back to you. It was just like, oh, time to find a different job. My boss went to prison. I had a friend who, I say friend, it was more like a friend of a friend. They hosted a website for cryptocurrency, or for NFT exchanges. They hosted an NFT art website. And because of it, they were fucking rolling in money. Average wage in Scotland is between 20 and 30k. A simple 1-bedroom is like 250k. God. The thing I've heard the most about Scotland, Meowmies, is Sean VR. Anytime he talks about public transportation, how you guys used to have a really good bus network and like bike lanes everywhere and like just awesome public transportation. And then this one woman just came in and destroyed all of it because she's been pushing the car industry so hard and has like fucked up the whole thing. They fucked it so bad. Yeah. Literally all crypto is a scam? Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm not going to get mad at like Octomage for working for a crypto company. I worked for Verizon. Verizon's evil. That's like just how it is. How do they fuck it up so bad? She was in the pocket of the car industry, and so she just changed all their laws to be very car-centric. And it was really bad for, you know, the common person. That's okay, Elin. I'll get mad at Octal for working for crypto. Well, don't. Not here. That's Karasi. You know, at the end of the day, people gotta pay their bills and get food in their mouth, right? If their options were starving or working for a crypto company, you know, I'm not gonna blame them. Oh, and I'll ignore your knee-jerk take. I don't want this to go further, you two. I greatly appreciate and love both of you. I don't want this to go further. Well done, Ewan. Thank you. Can you believe this Moogle loves Corvus? God damn it, Pixel. It was great. I could get a weekly bus ticket for like 14 pounds. And that gave me unlimited travel. All the costs went up, routes changed, services got canceled, new buses got denied, and old buses are in disrepair. A stretch, Pixel. Yeah, I don't know how familiar you are with Sean VR. If you mention public transportation around him, he's gonna go off for like 20 minutes. He's gonna lose his mind and rant about it for a good 20 minutes. Rar, I'm so angry at you for working and doing well, being amazing, and taking care of yourself. I am, and like, obviously you don't have to share this at all, Octomage. I am curious what you do now. Since that company blew up and the guy went to prison, I'm wondering, like, well, what do they do now, then? I don't need it these days because I own a car, but back in college, etc. is very needed. I've never owned a car in my life. When I was going to college, my parents had a third car that I just used. And I'm in therapy and taking a mental health break. Okay. Yeah, Sen's so cute. Agreed. Until further notice. when I went to college, my parents were like, so, you're going to get a job now, right? Outside of classes, you're going to get a job. And I was like, why would I get a job for that? And they were like, well, to come home on the weekends, you're going to need a car. And you're going to need a job to pay for that car. So, you know, you're going to need a job. And I was like, oh, I guess I just won't visit on the weekends then. And my mom was like, no, you have to. And I was like, no, I literally don't. They've got a washing machine on campus. They've got food there. I'll just stay there. I don't need the job. And my mom was just like, no, you have to visit on the weekends. What if we have a third car that you could just use? And I was like, okay, I guess I can get this free car to use that you're not using anymore. Sure. And so all through college, they just had a third car that I used. Same thing in Texas. They had a third car that I used. When I got the job, they had 3 cars. And I probably should have gotten a car at that point, but I think my dad wanted 2 cars, and so it didn't make sense for me to go get my own car. My dad had a work vehicle that was like a small sports car, but he himself wanted a pickup truck. So he had 2 cars, and I would just use whichever one he didn't need for the day. When I moved out, and I lived in an apartment on my own for 3 years, it was in a city. So I could just get groceries delivered. Anything I needed was just like at my fucking doorstep. And so it was like, why the fuck would I own a car? I can pay $6 for a grocery delivery. And $6 a week is way cheaper than a fucking car. And that $6 got cheaper. The final year of getting grocery deliveries, they had a annual subscription service. It was like, hey, become a member of the grocery store for $100. All your delivery fees will be waived. It was like, fuck yeah. That was essentially $2 per delivery, because I'd get a weekly delivery. Damn, I'm happy you didn't get into debt to get a car you didn't want. Yeah, I would never trust you to drive anywhere. I don't think I'm like a particularly good driver. Like, I'm not a bad driver. I'm a very cautious driver. But I'm not like, you know, those people that just feels like the car is an extension of themselves. They know what they're doing with the car and comfortable with it. I'm not like that. I'm not like fucking Takumi. But, you know, I've never caused an accident. I've technically been in 3. 2 of them I wasn't driving. 1, I had to come to a sudden stop on a freeway, and the guy behind me didn't come to a sudden stop, and he didn't rear end me. He kind of went to the shoulder and grazed me. But, like, he was in the wrong there, not me. I mean, just having the option is good. Like, yesterday, I was sort of mad someone ate my pizza bread slice. It's not like I was going to eat it yesterday. But I still wanted the feeling of having the option. Wanting a pickup truck? Gross. You gotta understand, Matthews. My dad grew up in Alabama. He grew up in Virginia, Alabama, and Louisiana. Those were the 3 states he kind of bounced between. So he, like, was born in Virginia, grew up in Alabama, spent summers in Louisiana. Around the age of, like, 8 or 10, I don't remember when, he moved to California and grew up as, like, you know, an urban kid, and then became white collar from there. But he's like, my roots are redneck. I need a pickup truck. So, like, now he has a pickup truck, and that's, like, his main vehicle. He is very much not a redneck. He just wishes he was. Wish I had the option of eating my own pizza slice. Okay. God, I'm having fun on VR chat, but we're gonna knock out Ocarina of Time. And you know what? We'll have fun tomorrow. There's always tomorrow, as I always say. So, we're not going to raid somebody. Maybe you look at me. It's not really... There was that planet view there. This is kind of nice. We'll do this. Tinker World. Ah. Ah. Oh, where did Chatterino go? There it is. Ah. Oh, when people get trucks and they don't need it, more power to you, though. My dad uses it, at least. You know, they do, so they go south to Florida for winters. It's too cold in Missouri for them. So they'll live in Florida for 6 months, and then they will live in Missouri for 6 months. And the pickup truck is really nice for, like, moving without needing a U-Haul and taking all their stuff with them. They also have a boat at each location, so the truck can move the boat. They're not doing, like, field work on the daily with it, but they do get use out of the pickup truck. I do 100% agree with you, though. The fucking fake rednecks that, like, just have a shiny pickup truck that's just big, and it's like, that has never seen a mud splatter a day in its life. Oh, I love Pioneer so much. True. I was gonna make something to eat, but then I got lazy. I'm so dehydrated. Island Bayou forever. Sorry again. Nobody uses an 8LV10, but they still get it. Fake rednecks? Aw, dude. Missouri, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Pixel. The fake rednecks with the shiny pickup trucks. The beer-themed cap that is, like, perfectly flat. It's never been bent against the back of their neck. The camo shorts and the Budweiser t-shirt. The absolute fake redneck. You know exactly who I'm talking about. V10s are pretty useful for pulling a train car, though. Okay. I am going to grab a quick snack. I'm going to put up the transition screen for like 5-10 minutes. I'm going to get some food, and then I will be back with Ocarina of Time. So if you have somewhere to go, understandable. You want to see that, if you want to see Ocarina of Time, be back soon. I love you.